So before we start today's episode, we have to do a few rest in pieces, if you will. So,
Yeah,
rest in
right.
peace to Chris Cornell, man, lead singer of Audio
Yeah,
Slave,
that's a big one.
Soundgarden.
Yeah, he did the theme song for James Bond Casino Royale, I think.
Yes. I believe he did the
Yeah,
the
which
music for
is
that actual score.
the theme song. Yeah,
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 great score
which
though.
was one of
Probably
my,
one of
which was
the
probably one of my favorite James Bond movies.
yes. Same here too.
Yeah,
Also Samuel Abraham, aka Brigo.
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
Really big loss to Gadi News
Yeah,
Tuesday. You know what I mean. He just contributed so much in terms of calypso
yeah,
and soca music. So I just kind of just
yeah,
hoping as a Trini that he does get just a nice send off now, basically. You know, whether it's a
yeah.
concert or whatever. Just really hoping for that. And most importantly, before I forget, ExtraTorrent, by that go-to
Oh
site
yeah, I
for
saw that.
all my movies and my TV shows and my games and music and stuff. You know,
Okay, now
it departed this earth.
I haven't. No, I'll admit I haven't used Extra Torrent in ages
Oh, really?
because you move on
Okay.
to better sites. Yeah, in a long gone damn time. I was actually quite shocked. But it was one of those stables. No, it was kind of like Mega Torrent in the days.
Yes.
Sorry, not Mega Torrent. Mega Upload.
Mega upload. Yeah.
Mega Upload in the days where you never really used it, but it was never going away kind of thing.
Yeah. And then one day when you least
apparently,
expect it, boom, it just goes.
yeah, it gone.
Yeah.
No, but in the case of Extra Torrent, I knew it was always reliable. As in, well, if this site don't have this thing that I want, then it should have it. But you used to get shit so late now on average. No, that's the problem.
True, but they had a nice interface though. So like I would know when latest movies come out, latest TV show
Right.
episodes come out. I would know that, but with stuff like Pirate Bay, you know, I don't know.
No, yeah,
like you
okay.
see the
So
latest
for
stuff,
me,
but it's just not like visually. No, it's just not that appealing to me anymore. I know
no,
I have
right.
no
No, but for
choice.
me,
Now I have to
okay.
use
So
it. You know what I mean?
because here's the thing. So for me with piracy is something that I only get if I really can't get the thing. But in today's world with me, it's like, well, I could get most things, right?
Yes.
Right. But with Mega Upload and Extra Torrent, what was cool about it that, well, especially in the case of Extra Torrent and especially in Mega Upload, what you used to get was earlier versions of code or earlier versions of rollback programs that you could have tinker with.
Right.
So it had that purpose because it had such a big, robust community now.
Yeah.
In that sense. So anyway, whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
So
extra torrent gone.
yeah,
Here's the thing, yeah, because recently it had a lot of shenanigans going on with net neutrality in the United States. We're not sure what's going on with a lot of the piracy stuff. Like, it's quite possible a lot of piracy stuff could shut down straight up. Like,
Yeah,
you will probably
yeah.
just, most torrents will never work, or at least torrents for programs will never work. Like, some of the real big TV sites could go, some of the real big movie sites could go, that kind of stuff now.
Yeah,
Or pirates will just kind of go back underground, not be anywhere near as popular as used to be.
Right.
But yeah, Extra Torrent was just a shock. And it just disappeared off the top of the, just out of the blue. It wasn't like news or nothing like that. It wasn't like an announcement. It just boom.
No,
done.
you just go on the
Bye-bye.
site, just
What?
click it on. Oh well, we regret to
What?
inform that we are no longer active.
Yeah,
That's it.
because most of these guys will just give you a heads up. Say, look, right, in 6 months or however
Yeah.
long.
Or in a week,
it's
so look out for a new home or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or some kind of heads up. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right. No, I was saying, back when you was in college and you had no money, you was kind of broke and you had to pirate thing. What you used to fight on, what you only cared about is if a TV show come out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that mattered in terms of time, especially anime.
Yeah.
So it had to
of
come out
of course.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the big thing. And so Extra Torrent was a kind of slow site in that sense. From what I understand, it was never particularly fast. I don't know if it got faster later on. And then a lot of people...
well, to me it did, because I mean I haven't used it like when it came out years ago, but I was using it
Right.
recently up until its demise. Yeah.
Right.
But with all that being
That-
said, though, rest in peace to all those three.
Yeah.
You've contributed so much to,
Yeah.
entertainment of the mind and the heart and the soul. Yeah, so they will be dearly, dearly missed. With that being
Yeah.
said, morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Match Billy alongside my critic and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hola, hola, hola.
And this is another episode of Beers, Beats, and Billy. Yes. So forgive our intro. We just had to get that off our chest before we jump into today's episode. Which will be basically about finally, we're gonna be talking about season 5 of Samurai Jack.
Yes.
Which actually wrapped up its final episode, as in the series finale, last night at the time of this recording. And from there, we're gonna jump into the Alien franchise, because yes, folks, we actually have a new Alien movie, and once again, it is directed by Ridley Scott, the guy who directed the first one of the best who started it all, one of the best in the entire franchise. So yes, he's back at the at the director's chair, and he's giving us Alien Covenant. But for us to really talk about that movie, we really have to go back in time and talk about this weird evolution, boy, that this franchise went. It was just a weird, crazy, offbeat kind of evolution, boy. Just really, 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 really unique, for better or for worse. That's the best thing I could say. All right, so let's jump in first of all to season 5 of Samurai Jack, which for many fans, myself included, was like, we were just waiting for a new season, because and the thing is, like, I originally promised myself that I would have rewatched all the preceding episodes, but unfortunately I didn't get around to it. But from what I remember, that last episode for season 4 was it was okay, but it really wasn't that. It didn't really end the series. It just kind of stopped it right there. It was like, okay, well, this is the last one, the end. Maybe we might get a season 5, who knows. And last year we got the announcement that yes, we are getting a season 5, and it's going to be under the Adult Swim. It's going to be it's going to be under Adult Swim, basically. So you're not going to get that TVY7 kind of content. It's going to be TV14, and in one particular episode, which you'll talk about, TVPG, it's going to be a little bit more edgy, a little bit more violent, a little bit more mature, a little bit more intense. Actually, more intense, I should say. And once again, it is directed. Actually, all the episodes are directed by its creator, Jendi Tarkovsky. Guy who gave us such great animated series for Cartoon Network, like Dexter's Laboratory, one of my all-time favorite cartoons ever. And that fosters Home for Imaginary Children, which honestly I never
Imaginary Friends,
Imaginary Friends. Sorry, my bad. I'm thinking Miss Peregrine for some reason. Which was a show that I never got into. Like, I like the design of the characters. I always like that particular orange one, the one with the kind of the tall one with the long with the socks. Raise up real high like you playing basketball. That one, but apart from that, I just never got on board with that.
Yeah, then he was he in the movie foray he get into what the Hotel Transylvania franchise.
Yeah, which
pretty good.
I heard good things about it from you actually, but never got around to seeing it.
It's okay, so I'll say it's not that brilliant or funny, but it does a lot of it has a lot of interesting cultural subtext going on there, right? It mostly to do with like Jews in the United States. That's what I kind of got from a lot of that.
Right. I kind of from what I got from the trailers, I kind of like the modern twist that they took with its characters. So how the Mummy and the Wolfman and Dracula would react in modern times, I thought that was really clever. Yeah. But like I said, I just never got around to it, really.
Another thing with him, for me, there's a couple other shows that he was great with. Well, I'll praise the high heaven, the Star Wars Clone Wars series he did.
Oh, yes, yes. How could I forget?
I will always
love that
love that series. So well done. Yeah. And then he had a short-lived show that actually was pretty well done and quite good. A show called Symbionic Titan. Really cool short-lived sci-fi series that he did on Cartoon Network. It only lasted a year.
Okay, I've never heard of that though, to be honest. That's
it wasn't half bad at all. It actually had a decent story and everything. Basically it's about aliens who come to Earth, and they basically like an alien civil war kind of thing. It's similar to that show Roswell. Had a similar premise kind of thing where they run away from the planet and that whole thing. But yeah, he in my opinion is he has a good sense of visual like style and visual language.
Exactly.
The only reason I never really got into him, especially with Samurai Jack, and we'll talk about Samurai Jack and his whole run through. You never really took him too seriously because of the production value of his stuff. Production value is always kind of low. You never really like the blocky look of things for the most part. But once you ignore that, everything else is brilliant. It's just
exactly.
He sacrificed something which to me is a good sacrifice, which is making sure you have good storytelling just for the sake of, just at the sake of, the supposed high production value, which is something that is massively overrated in today's world.
Right.
Massively overrated. I mean, we have so many good things with high production values, and the core and themes are very empty, which we're going to talk about in a movie we saw recently.
yes.
Whatever.
But okay, sorry.
Anyway,
but continue.
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Well, what I would say, because I know a lot of people, especially like non-Samurai Jack fans, would look at the animation and instantly be turned off, like, this is so cheap and it's so poorly made, compared to, say, like an anime series, But what I would argue is that because it's Cartoon Network, you have to, the characters have to look a certain type of way. I would, the simple way to describe it is that the characters had to be easy to draw. It's like if you were into drawing, you could just easily sketch these characters, and they have to look kind of appealing, and also that they can't look how, it can't look Japanese. It has to look American. So you want to make it look easy and fast to do.
In the case of Jack, it actually served the story, and it actually would be better off looking like that because of how simple it is. And basically, we are going to invoke a word that most people consider very pretentious, but it is actually quite useful in this context: minimalism.
Yes.
Samurai Jack really, really did a good job with the minimalism thing. Now, for me, okay, so you want to do a run through the series quick, and then talk about the final season, or I just want to talk about my relationship with the franchise and just how I got into it, and then we'll talk about the series.
Okay, well,
as a whole.
All right. So if you, unless you haven't seen any of the episodes, the setup of the series is always established in its intro, which I love and I can almost say by heart, but I won't. But rest in peace to Mako and his excellent voiceover direction. And what I love is that it reminded me of one of my all-time favorite movies, believe it or not, Conan the Barbarian. I absolutely love this movie, and Mako did an excellent voiceover narration to start the film, which I could also say by heart, but I won't. But anyway, so it's set in feudal Japan, and this evil spirit called Aku, this big gigantic black demon, basically come and lays waste to the land and whatnot. He spreads evil throughout the world, and Jack, a samurai, decides to go up against him. He has a magic sword. He's which he gets from his father, I believe that's how the story went. And during one duel between Aku and Jack, Aku creates his time portal and sends Jack into the future. And throughout the series leading up to the series finale here, we basically see Jack in different
the future world.
in different worlds in the future. So he meets different characters, from the weird to the unique to the strange, just a whole wide variety of characters. And all through the while he's helping them out, and he's learning a lot about himself, about being what it means to be a samurai and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Not just about fighting and techniques and whatnot, but also about calming that inner demon and being at peace with oneself and all that kind of good Bushido stuff.
Right. For me, the series is one of those series that came after the fact for me, because it kind of came after my time, so I didn't get into it until after. But dudes,
right.
dudes who
I was the opposite. I was on board from day one.
Right. No, for me, but people like around 5 or 6 years younger than me was really into it, and I was like, all right, I couldn't, and I'll admit, because of that, I had that initial bias of, well, it looking too cheap and looking too simplistic, and I couldn't get into it. And then I decided to watch it after the fact. This was around when season 3 came out.
Right.
So I decided to just recap, because I remember Cartoon Network was running this at the time, marathons. This is before the internet.
Kind of linearly as well. So I believe some episodes were screened at different times. It didn't run in a normal. It didn't flow normal actually. And
even though I didn't absolutely become addicted to the show, I thought the show was brilliant. It has some really brilliant standout episodes and some true classics. Yes, especially some of the action episodes, especially.
One in particular. Sorry to stop you there. One in particular, for me, that will always remain the best episode ever, is where there was this specific well that was in this castle, and they were these kind of Anubis-shaped kind of dog-like archers guarding that tower. So Jack had to learn how to dodge them, and he had to blindfold himself, and it was snowy all over the place, so he had to learn how to hear their movements. That, to me, best episode. Reason being is because of what they do in terms of not just with lack of dialogue, and I would basically it's all paying tribute to Sergio Leone, legendary spaghetti western director. And his intros for films like Goodbye and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in the West, there was just these scenes that just ran for long periods of time with no dialogue, and you saw that influence in Samurai Jack. There are lots of moments where no dialogue, but you're just hearing sound and you're seeing visual. I just love that. The
episode for me that stuck out, I remember, there's two in particular. Well, there's 3 of them, but the 2 in particular that I really, really loved is the one with the assassins who was planning the entire episode to take down Jack. And they did this kind of what is called by in the cabin Tarantino movie, Hateful Eight kind of scene. Yeah, they do a kind of Hateful Eight something where they don't trust each other and they talk about this other person.
Right,
and
that episode,
the whole episode, and then the last minute of the episode is basically
Jack just beat everybody.
If you haven't seen it, I dare not spoil what it is, but it was just fucking awesome. And it's so well done and so brilliant. The other episode.
Well, sorry.
The other episode
another episode that I remember. Sorry to cut you there. Was the one with the Scotsman.
Right.
Yeah, the first introduction of the Scotsman. I loved that.
No, but the one that truly stuck out for me, this was the absolute brilliant episode. This is the episode that really got me into saying, all right, this show is really brilliant and really well done. The one with the Shinobi. Holy shit, that was amazing for me at the time.
Remind me how that one again.
So that's the one where it had a Shinobi threatening the village, and he had to take down the Shinobi. And the Shinobi basically, if direct sunlight not touching him, he's more or less invisible, completely invisible. And Jack does this technique where if direct sunlight does touch him, he becomes invisible. I was like,
okay, I remember that. Yes.
That didn't make any goddamn sense. It's one of those rule of cool moments, but the ensuing action sequence that results from that is one of the best goddamn pieces of, I don't know what to call it, cinema, television, whatever it is, but it was so brilliant. And what happens that, the sun was setting, so Jack was running out of light now.
Yeah.
And running out of time to take down this basically it was a machine ninja, infused by Haku's evil or whatever it is.
Right.
And dude, that episode for me is probably a true classic. God damn, that episode was amazing. Yeah. That shit was just on our next level for me. Like when I saw that, I was like, all right, Tartakovsky real know his cinema and just know how to just know visual language, shots, action, how to pace that shit, the tension, have it building.
Yeah.
Easily one of the best. I mean, the show as a show was always a really kooky kind of sci-fi anyway.
It is, especially with the weird characters and dialogue.
Right, it had a bunch of great characters throughout the entire series of Jack meeting. We got to see a lot of those come back in season 5.
I was really glad of that, for one thing.
Right. Yeah. And I just thought it was just well done in terms of just as a show, again, just good storytelling. Tartakovsky, it's a shame that he never get a product with good high production value, but that's how life is.
And before we forget, we have to mention that still awesome theme song from Will I Am, it's so catchy. Back to the past, samurai, check. Love it.
Jack's voice, I didn't notice. Jack's voice is Green Lantern from Justice.
Phil Lamar. Yeah.
Phil Lamar, right.
And I like that, he was doing the Mad TV stuff, and he just moved from that and just say, fuck this, let me just do some
I never thought shit. I was like, being a big kind of the internet going to hate me on this one is that I was never a Mad TV fan. I never actually liked the show. I actually thought the show kind of sucked.
It's disposable, but I used to watch
right.
That,
I also thought Phil Lamar kind of sucked. I was like, Phil Lamar not funny, and I judged him on that standard of him being just on stand-up, not realizing he's just this really brilliant voice actor.
Yes,
and then it's like, holy
God,
shit, he's like some of my favorite voices. Static Shock, he was in and all that shit. So like, alright, well, would.
And he does just to talk about his voice. I love the depth that he brings into this character.
Yeah.
It sounds so real, especially like when he's angry. You're like, yo, Aku. You feel that in his voice. It's so.
One thing I'll say overall with the show for me that I'll say kind of let down, and I don't know if it's up to me in terms of creative. It's just a creative direction I didn't like the show take, which was Aku as a character. I never cared for.
Okay,
He he's
Aku to me used to come off a little kind of like a comic relief, kind
that's
of
the
like
problem.
this mad scientist fella, and just the way
Right.
how he used to talk, that's so full of himself, you know.
Right, and
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I get why that character should be like that. So it's not like the like, for the lack of a better term, verisimilitude is broken necessarily. But I never liked the character being funny. To me, if the character was like just a distant, malevolent force, and he was like genuinely evil, and if you hear his voice, like to me, Aku should have been Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. It should have been that voice.
Oh,
Instead of just the kind of funny Mako voice. Like, Mako is a great voice actor, not knocking that, but it just didn't seem like the right choice for a villain like that. He should have really been a distant, malevolent monster.
right.
And he was, but
Yeah.
because
But
he
I
was
don't
kind
know.
of
I think it's how his design looks, you know, with those big beady ass
no,
eyes. Yeah.
all of that is fine because it had that whole ancient devil look. Remember, you know, it's the ancient Asian, East Asian devil look, right?
Yeah,
That's
that,
how
that weird totem kind of
right, that
thing,
totem look with the wide eyes and the big curved teeth. Like, all of that is fine. I didn't mind the design of the character.
Right.
But him being the funny character, I didn't really care for that personally.
Yeah.
But
And
whatever.
they kind of do that same thing here. But we'll talk about that. The way
Yeah,
how
we see a
his
lot of that.
character
We see a lot of
is
that
treated here.
in season 5 as well. And
Yeah.
it's one thing that just pulled me out of the show, frankly. But whatever, it is still work. A lot of people still like it.
Right.
Let's talk about season 5 and the direction it took. So 4
right.
ended where he failed to go through the time portal.
Yeah.
Right. That was 4. It kind of ended on this cliffhanger a long time ago. Holy crap! Like, it's a long time between season 4 and 5. They had
Yeah.
a long hiatus.
I think
Everybody
it's
thought
like
the
10
show was
years or so. I
yeah,
could be
holy
wrong.
shit.
Yeah.
People was pissed off. Again, because I was not a huge Samurai Jack fan, I wanted to see the ending, but at the same time, I was like, well, you know, I don't really care at the time.
Yeah.
But it was just great to see, like, Jesse Show coming back, and then they start back in such an awesome way with that finale where he lose the sword, and they start back, well, he kind of immortal for some reason or the other. They ever explained that?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's explained. Why is he so immortal? They ever explained that? Why not agent?
You know, as you mentioned it, no.
Yeah, I
Just
don't-
oddly enough, time has passed. Well, in this case, in the show, 50 years has passed.
50 years from the
and
year, right?
he hasn't aged.
Yeah, for some reason.
Although they do show him with a beard and stuff, but you know, that's
No,
just him
like,
growing
yeah.
a beard. But
Yeah,
he
exactly.
hasn't
You
aged,
don't
really.
age in the negative way. Yeah, he still grows, right? He still could grow hair apparently, but he don't age. He don't get older. He should be 50 years older. That didn't happen. He's still healthy and Sprite could still kick ass.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it affected his mind over time.
Yes.
I love this direction they take with the character. I
Me
thought
too.
those first,
It
first 3
goes
episodes.
deep and dark into it. Like
Yes.
the first few episodes, you really feeling this inner torment that this guy is going through. Because imagine you fighting for years and then time has stopped. You can't really do anything about it. And you just seeing more destruction, and you blaming yourself because you wish you could do something about it. And you see how that turmoil really affects Jack.
Yeah.
Visually
Because-
and you know.
Yeah, because the
thematically.
opening episode to season 5 was just goddamn awesome. You see that
Oh,
opening
yes, it was.
sequence with the motorcycle?
Yes.
Holy shit, that was awesome. Because it
And
started
that samurai armor that he had on. Oh
yeah,
my
and
god.
you see these
yeah.
you see these two blue people, you know, they're in real trouble with these big bug monsters thing.
Yeah.
And that's had this badass opening sequence where and what I love about it is that throughout the first 3 or so episodes, you're just using everything but a sword.
Yes.
He had all these other
He had a gun, he had a
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
spear.
I love how they
Yeah.
did that. And they just slowly but surely just have him get simpler and simpler with the sword.
Yes.
He get from gun to this weapon, you know, like he had a halberd at one point.
Yeah.
And then eventually get back the sword. And that episode we get back the sword was pretty awesome too.
Yes,
I
it
love
was.
that. Yeah.
But if you don't mind me, let's continue with the story here.
Yeah.
Well, right. So this season here, which is 10 episodes, sorry, actually manages to tell a full story. So in this case, we have basically this priestess of Aku who gives birth to the 7 daughters.
Yeah.
And they all are trained from birth to be assassins. And their
Right.
job is just solely to kill Jack.
Right.
And there's this excellent episode where Jack confronts these assassins. And what I love about that particular
that
episode,
fight was
is how vulnerable
but-
Jack was.
yeah, there are two parts of the fight that was pretty badass. That one sequence where he was in this labyrinth.
Yes,
Like
and
a kind
then-
of mausoleum kind of thing. You're not sure what it was.
And then another one in a forest. Yeah.
Right,
Which
and then they
suddenly
move to the
snowed
forest
for
where you have
some
to-
reason. This snow this suddenly started to fall, but I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it adds to the drama. All right, whatever, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Whatever, forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what happens is, not to spoil too much, is that one of the assassins, her name is Ashi, ends up becoming a prisoner of
Jack,
starts off as a prisoner of Jack, and then just kind of follows him along when she learns the
Right.
truth about Aku, and
Right.
then it's just basically them just going finally to get back his sword and kill Aku once and for all. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did the first arc with him just kind of beating the darkness, and then they have the second arc with him with Ashi and that relationship with him. I thought that worked as well.
Me too. I love.
I thought a lot of that worked as well. I thought it would have been stupid, like, oh, all of a sudden he fall in love. But the one thing that kind of confused me, I'll say, this is episode 2, I think, but they had this montage, or I think it's episode 1 or episode 2, where they had the montage of the girls growing up, and I couldn't really get a sense of what the time was with that, because was it they were born 20 years ago and they spent roughly 20 years or however old they are, and I get the sense that they're around,
good point, because
around 17 to 20.
Yeah.
I don't really get the sense of how old they are, but I'll say let's say 20 up on them.
Yeah, assume that everything is running in present time. So
right.
I would assume, just because it's a cartoon once again, I would say that's like one of the season's flaws actually is right. Certain things happen narratively that you have to kind of disbelief and be like, okay, right. Well, it's a cartoon, okay. So in this case, the characters happen to grow up really fast. So one
right.
day
So
they
that's the thing. So
now they turn into like young women. So like,
right. That's the thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, if they are, here's the thing. If they are magic evil children, I have no problem with them growing up pretty quickly. That's fine. Like, they could grow up within a matter of, I don't know, weeks or whatever it is. But they had these big training sequences, so I get the feeling that they were alive for a very long time. I didn't really get the sense how old they were. How if they grow up pretty fast, because it'll inform Ashi's character a lot better if she is like 16 years and she doesn't know anything about Aku. That'll make more sense to me.
Right.
Because the whole point is that she know the world in a certain way, and then they showed little flashbacks with her seeing the outside world.
Yeah, which was a nice moment actually.
Right. And then the mother was like, no, don't trust the outside world. This is blah 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 blah. Right.
Yeah.
And the samurai out there, he will blah blah blah. So that would make more sense in terms of the whole indoctrination stuff, and it'll inform. To me, that informed the character better. So I was willing to accept that. No, she's actually roughly about 20 or so years old, and she was training her whole life just to kill Jack. But then, we don't know how that'll flip back and forth in terms of why she would just not decide to kill Jack at any moment.
Exactly.
If she's so indoctrinated, whatever.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. To me, it built with the character. And then I'll say it was going to the whole heads up with the finale, and I thought the finale was a bit of a letdown.
Oh, you find so? Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I felt that it ended the way it should end. I know
right.
We won't spoil anything here. It kind of raised our hopes up. It was like, yes, Jack, yes.
Right.
And then something happens like, but the way how it ends that last couple of shots, so I was like, wow, okay. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I didn't have a problem with that, right? I didn't have a problem with any of the beats and the story beats of it, but it just felt so rushed. The whole thing felt rushed. That finale
I actually would agree with you. For me, I felt that the episode itself should have been, because each episode run like 22 minutes. You could give it like a 20 more minutes, so it'll be like 42 minutes total, right?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be
a little bit longer, but the whole, because this is the end of the final climactic showdown, and just kind of run through everything like really fast.
And another thing is that they didn't bring back every character I thought they would have brought back. Like, I thought they would have brought back the gods. Remember the 3 gods I was kicking Aku's ass in the beginning?
Yes.
Remember that? Those 3 gods? Yeah, the three
god, the Greek god, and
right.
Celtic.
I thought they would have like do that, all of that cosmic shit now.
Yeah.
They didn't really do that. Like, okay, they bring back that episode with him and the guy, the Scotsman and his daughters was pretty awesome. You get to see them picture.
I love the introduction of the daughters. That was pretty TV 14.
No, yeah,
the implications. Like, oh my god, you have all these daughters. Wow.
Yeah. Guys on the internet was making death by snoo jokes, because I totally get what's going on there. But yeah, did Tartakovsky have a kind of pervy bent to him anyway? So
I know, especially with some of the character designs and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll say I don't really like Ashi's design all that much.
She had nice eyes though.
Right, but she's a little too. I get that she's supposed to be a small girl, whatever. I almost hated all of her side profile shots every time. That jaw thing, I didn't really feel that at all. Should I keep her? I don't know.
Wait, you find she was too skinny or something? I think.
No, like, okay, you ever see any of her side profiles from her face? You didn't find the mouth sticking out a little too far?
Oh, yeah. I know you mean.
Kind of weird duck lip thing you was going for.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't feel that. Whatever.
Yeah.
As I said, the finale was a little bit of a letdown. It thematically, I got what they were trying to do with it, but they should have fleshed that out better. Which is, well, if Jack goes back in time and kills Haku, it will put an end to everything that happened. All of those people, all of those lives, for how many, whatever, well, we know how far you go into the future, like thousands of years or whatever it is, right? Yeah, even though that world under Haku is as a bad world, it's still those people's lives are gone, and they should have talked about that. Like, yeah, Jack should have realized that. It's like, wait, if I kill Haku, these people, all these people who I make friends with and love and so on, so those people gonna go away. And I thought they should have do a big montage with that and thing. And
that would have worked, because you do see a majority of these characters show up at the very end.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And they do how they do it, by the way, was kind of unexpected. But I saw what they were trying to do there, a kind of meta moment basically that they do. Right. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
Yeah, and the final scene, it still works. As I say,
I thought it wrapped up everything in a like I say, in a satisfying note. That, like, to me, it's like, yes, I'm satisfied. It's done. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I could totally understand why a lot of people hate the ending, because, and I'll admit, because I'm not as invested in Samurai Jack as other fans, I couldn't say I really hated this ending all that much. But yeah, they could have fleshed out that ending a little better. Just if it was an hour long and they just flesh out all these ideas, and because the central idea of the whole dark timeline, you have to fix that kind of thing, because the whole story was about the time travel in the future anyway. Cool. They should address that, and they didn't really.
It just kind of wraps up in a neat bow and boom.
Yeah, they wrapped it up a little too fast. A little too fast. They should have fleshed the ideas out. Should have been an hour long, but that's my only problem.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought it was a solid series. This is a great series overall. Great ending. I really hope that we get look, if Tartakovsky make a director's cut version of this on a DVD sometime, as you can see, totally fans will eat that shit up anytime. Cool.
Yeah.
You know the director's version, and it'll be like, I don't know, 30 minutes longer or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people will get into that. But overall, I really like this. This series is a great series overall. It is just such a great action series, a great science fiction series. Great characterization and voice acting. Great, again, production value I'm not going to complain about, because the minimalistic style totally worked for the world building. Like, every time you get a sense of this future world, you get a sense of a new place and a new area, and somebody built something, but you don't know who built it because so much time passed. So it's a whole, like, everything could be a whole story. You know, it's like every time you see something in Star Wars, you see some big statue somewhere, and it's like, wait, who the fuck built that?
Yeah.
But you'll never know. That in itself is brilliant on its own way.
Exactly.
That whole super post-apocalyptic had a kind of Thundercats feel to everything. You know, Thundercats had this super future stuff to everything.
Uh-huh.
And I totally loved that about the show. It totally did great world building. And yeah, Samurai Jack is a 5 out of 5 for me still, even though the ending was a slight letdown. Yeah, the show was like a next to perfect for me. Love the show, love the series. You know, I totally, like, I wish I was a super fan of this, but I'm not. I can't say in good conscience I am. But it's still a damn good series in my opinion.
All right. Well, I totally agree with you. Even with the end as well too, because yeah, in retrospect, when you think about it, it did feel kind of rushed. Because you know, you're working with this 22-minute time frame, but you know, it's the series finale. You could have just added some more. You know, make it an hour. Nobody would care about this Adult Swim shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally enjoyed the season 5. This was this was just a return to form for Tartakovsky.
Yeah, especially those first 3 or 4 episodes. Geez, boy, those were like next to perfect for me too.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, just like a master just going back to the, you know, to his arts, to his skill, now just going back to it, you know, just having fun basically. I really love the sort of dark, mature tone to it. But I'm glad, just personally, that they didn't go too overboard with it. You know, some people is, like Hollywood, for example, once you get the chance to do an R, but you get an R slapped onto your film, you think you could get away with stuff. And we get to that just now with a particular movie in a particular franchise. But, you know, in this one, you know, he still managed to tell these great stories. Yeah. And what I love is that once again, you know, he does the storyboards and he does the directing, and it shows. You could tell that this guy just has an eye. Sorry, what am I saying? That ear? Oops.
An eye.
Has an eye, not just for stunning, unique, sometimes psychedelic, sometimes terrifying, sometimes freaky, sometimes beautiful, gorgeous visuals, but just how to frame these shots, how each scene, each shot, you know, adds to the next one. A perfect example of this was a particular episode where I was wondering where they were going to go with it, but I'm glad that they actually continue the story in the next episode, where you see a wolf going one part and Jack going
Oh,
the
dude,
same
that
part.
episode was amazing, Dread.
Oh
Holy
my god!
shit.
At first I
That
was
was
wondering
damn
what
good,
that
Dread.
wolf thing
Love
was
that
doing,
episode.
but basically the wolf and Jack kind of meet up in the
Yes.
next episode and they help each other
Perfect,
out.
Dread.
But just those scenes with the wolf was just so goddamn excellent, boy. Just
Yeah.
from a visual standpoint, from a thematic standpoint, I was just thinking like lone wolf and cub with
Yeah.
minus the cub. You know, that was just survival of the fittest. That kind of
Yeah.
just balls to the wall kind of stuff. Now, what else? The animation once again is on point. It's fluid. The characters are vibrant. You know, crazy, appealing. You know, one particular character still the most to me was Scaramouche. Boy, is this robot guy who just happens to sound like freaking Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm Scaramouche. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And he's just singing his dialogue. I was like, okay,
I love
okay.
that character.
And what I like is that
he was a cool character. I wish that day he got a second fight with Jack, but what happened to him is really like make perfect sense to me. But yeah, I love his arc. That was so good.
Yeah. What I like with him though is that he brought some humor into it, and that's what I like about this season is that yes, the setup of it is pretty dismal and dark, but there are bright spots. There are moments of humor. There are moments of hope. It's not just gloom and doom all the time. You know what I mean? And it does that gloom and doom doesn't take over or overpower the the stories. Yes, there are intense moments, there are violent moments, and that TV-14 is used to good use. That TV-PG episode in particular, that's where certain characters hook up at the very end. He was waiting for it to happen. And I was amazed at how some people online reacted to it. It was like, well, what kind of shit is this? This is degrading the quality of Samurai Jack. What the hell is this? Blah, blah, blah. What's with all these edgy jokes and all that kind of stuff? It's like, come on. 2017. And here's the thing, right? Like, the series itself from season 1 to 4 always was kind of bordering on the edge of TV-14 anyway. Like, there were moments of violence and stuff and, suggestive moments. But, they had to kind of tone it down because, kids was watching and stuff. But I'm glad in this one, Jendi had the moment to, finally had the freedom to just go, to get some elbow room there, to just get loose and do, the stuff that he could tell he always wanted to do, tell the stories he wanted to tell, crack the jokes he always wanted to crack, show the content he always wanted to show. But I'm just glad he never goes too far with it. So yes, that moment that got everybody all infuriated. Well, not everybody, but some people. Come on, it's not that bad of a moment. I thought it worked. I laughed actually at that moment because not just because of the setup, but just the song that they play. That's all I would say is just kind of out of the way, but how they do it was just so brilliant. It's just so funny. You could tell it's a light-hearted moment, and it adds, it works well with the story. The character of Aku. At first, I was a little iffy about it because here, and it kind of works with the character. Here, it's like, it's been 50 years.
Right.
This man's still alive, but I don't know what to do, Dre. Like,
right.
I'm not really feeling to go up against him, but I don't know why. So he has this kind of bored, kind of indecisive kind of vibe about him. And moments, it was kind of funny because, like, oh, well, time has changed also, too, with Aku. But also it's kind of like, well, if you don't know what you're doing, what's the point?
But that's the problem is that, that's what I say the problem with Aku is that Aku's supposed to be this eternal evil, and it's like 50 years is nothing to him. So, that's the whole, like, that stuff just didn't gel with me. Like, again, I get why Tadagowski made these decisions from a creative standpoint. He wanted to keep things funny. I get it. So, like, I didn't really have a problem with that. But I would have just had the character, like, dark and serious, and the whole 50 years thing would have been, like, Jack just melting down into psychology. So, I don't know. But, yeah, again, it's up to you if you like the Haku humor stuff. I am not a fan of the Haku humor stuff, so...
Yeah, I kind of like it for the most part. But, oh gosh, it's this character that represents pure evil. That is what keeps Jack motivated to actually go to kill him. So, make him more... I would have liked it if they made him more menacing instead of, should I kill Jack today? I don't know, maybe. And it's just like the cool scene like where he has a split personality thing going on where he's talking to a quote-unquote psychiatrist. I thought that was funny, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you're Akudra. What are you doing? Why are you wasting time?
Right.
And so while I like the fact that they try to show Aku, being basically be not torn by age, but just kind of indecisive as to what to do next. Now that Jack is still alive, I felt that he could have been a lot more menacing instead of just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do today, that kind of stuff. It was funny, but at times it's kind of like, yeah. So what's the purpose of Aku now? Kind of just get to the point. I was glad to see characters from the old series, especially my boy the Scotsman. I still think he's probably my favorite side character in that series. What else? The action is still on point. In this case here, it's a lot more intense, especially in the early episodes. And on the subject that I really love the fact that you got to see Jack at his most vulnerable, not just externally, but internally as well too. You really do see him wrestling with his personal demons, not understanding why he's still stuck in this future, not still seeing carnage and destruction, and he can't really do anything about it. I really love the fact that you got to see this character at a much more vulnerable level, and you do feel for him, and you do connect with him. And there are emotional moments here where you really do. You do feel for the man, you really do. And yes, and in terms of voice acting, once again, Phil Lamar just knocks it out the park. Sorry, in terms of Jack. I love the moments where he did the evil side of him, where he's doubting himself internally. I love that. It really did feel like, this is the dark Jack talking here. But here is the icing on the cake. This is the secret to why this season stepped its game up so much. Tyler fucking Bates, who does the music for all the episodes in this season. Oh my god, the score for this series, brilliant. I don't know how Cat Network got that hookup with Tyler Bates. It's like, hey, when you finish doing Guardians, come through now, do some music first, please. But the music that he did for this just elevate this show on a whole other level, boy. Oh my god. It's like the most just emotional, epic, soul-stirring kind of music that you would expect from a show like this. But it just it just increased the quality of the show so high with this one. I am so glad that they actually got this guy on board. I thought that he just added a great deal to the show in terms of the tone, the setup, everything. But I won't say that it's a perfect season. It is the best by far. It's easily the best of all the seasons by it's without question, just because of the mature direction that it took. I mean mature in terms of the storytelling and just the stuff that they wanted to get out there, and just not being afraid to actually tell its own story the way how Jendy and his team wanted to tell it. But it isn't perfect. I would say that much. Especially like I say with that final episode, which I do admit was kind of rushed, and there are certain moments where it's like, okay, that kind of doesn't make sense narratively, but you kind of had you just had to kind of suspend your disbelief, because it's an animated series, so like whatever, like a character will look one way and then next day it look something different. Whatever, it's a cartoon, screw it, whatever, let's move on. But overall, though, I am so glad that Jendy got the opportunity to make this series.
To finish it,
I'm glad that he got to finish it on a high note.
To finish it,
I don't know what he's going to do next here. I would love to see a director's cut of it. And on the subject of director's cut and DVD, I know that the first four seasons are available on DVD. I'm hoping that there is a box set release in the future with all 5 seasons. I would love for it to be on Blu-ray instead of this DVD format. I'm not sure if Cartoon Network does Blu-rays. I know they've been doing DVDs for a long while. I think they've been doing it with Adventure Time and stuff like that. But I just hope that we get a full Blu-ray release of it, and I will be the first one of the first to buy this, because I love this series. I love the way how it ended. Not a perfect end to say, but a thoroughly satisfying one for me. So overall, the series itself I would give like a strong 4.5, but the season itself I would give a strong 4 out of 5. Definitely check it out if you are a diehard fan of Samurai Jack. This will be exactly what you were waiting for all your life.
I don't think Yeah, I don't think you gotta tell anybody to check it out.
No.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, don't let the, I don't want to say quote unquote crude animation turn you off. There is a lot of depth and detail into it. Just don't mind the simplistic drawing. But you know,
No, as I say,
but it's really the storytelling.
minimalism.
Storytelling, yeah. This is where this
Yeah.
series shines in its storytelling, in the way how it tells a story, not just with dialogue but with visuals. It does that so excellently, so near perfect in my opinion. So yeah, if you haven't seen the series, by all means watch it from episode 1. If you have seen all 4 and you haven't seen 5, yeah, jump into this. Don't even waste any time. Jump into this. You'll have a blast. So yeah.
Right.
All right. So now we're gonna jump in to the Alien franchise. Yay! Ah boy, that series that admittedly could have been a lot better as when do you use the word franchise now? Like, you know, you think with franchise it will just get better and better. You might have a little missteps along the way, but it will just continually get better and better and better. You know?
Yeah.
But this one here, boy, Rocky, boy. That's the best way to describe it. A really Rocky.
Yeah, that's a good. Well,
franchise. Man.
All right, yeah, no, that's a good comparison actually. I didn't think of that.
It is in a way like the Rocky franchise, but Rocky kind of tends to get better though when it gets more self-aware. Just saying, but you know.
Here the thing, right? That's the thing. Is Rocky before Rocky 6? Let us say that because we had some Rocky 5 bullshit going on.
Oh yes, go for it.
Yeah. So let's run through the franchise.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about Covenant.
Right. So I'll just get a little brief history about the series itself, and you'll understand why.
Yeah.
In a bit. Okay. So once upon a time, a director by the name of John Carpenter made a student film, which became his first debut feature called Dark Star, which I still have yet to see. It's pretty much like a spoof of 2001 stuff. Yeah. I've always been to see that. I know I love McCult films, but I just never got around to seeing that. I know, shame on me. And I'm supposed to be a big John Carpenter fan. But anyway, so one of the writers of it was Dan O'Bannon. And he had basically
Well, I wanted to mention, before we mention, I wanted to mention one of my favorite directors, if probably not my personal favorite, Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yes.
He is, okay, so you could say he's kind of heavily involved in the Alien franchise by kind of default. Now, about how much years ago this came out, boy? About, how long this came out? About 3-4 years ago? A documentary known as Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yes. He was working on Dune around that time. Yeah. Well, sorry, he was in pre-production, actually, I think.
You're right.
Pre-production.
What happens that you could say that Jodorowsky kind of somewhat discovered Dan O'Bannon to a certain extent.
Right.
And H.R. Geiger.
Yes. The late
those
great
two men,
surrealist
surrealist artist, yeah. And you could see a lot of those ideas. When you watch some of the ideas that Jodorowsky does, it's like, there's some alien stuff going on there.
Okay. All right.
And you could say if it wasn't for that film kind of died a death and created other sci-fi. If it wasn't for that film dying, a lot of great sci-fi would have never existed, in a sense now. So that's the history I wanted to mention. But yeah, Dan O'Bannon I wanted to bring up.
Yeah,
and of course,
but very good point that you made there with Jodorowsky and his Dune pre-production, because that stuff was going along while they were working on the script here, which was called Star Beast. Basically, is that Dan O'Bannon had some ideas that he had left over from Dark Star, stuff that he wanted to explore.
Yeah.
Basically, people in a spaceship being threatened by this force. Sorry, not a force, by this creature. So he collaborated with another screenwriter by the name of Ronald Shushat, and they were working on the script. And around that time, I believe that's when Jodorowsky was kind of still in pre-production with Dune, and then he got on board with H.R. Geiger or Giga, I think. How do you pronounce his name? Whatever. I think it's Giga. I think Geiger as in Geiger counter. Yeah.
Right. No, I think it's Giga, because I hear most people pronounce it Giga, but I've heard so many people pronounce it Geiger. I have to get into just a quick aside.
Yeah.
I have to get into the arguments about what exactly does justify a pronunciation in one way or the other, because it has so many arguments about how things are pronounced. and we had to start sorting that out.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one little metaphysics I want to sort out. Probably not metaphysics, it's more like I think, or whoever. It'll be all kind of bullshit. Like everybody, if you had to correct another person, it's always be like a little brownie point you had to get for yourself for correcting a person's pronunciation. But yeah, if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be Giga.
Right.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So around that time, the studio that they got involved with, Brandywine Productions, and they were they were tied to 20th Century Fox. At the time, they were like, I mean, they liked the idea, but 20th Century Fox at the time was like, well, yeah, nobody gonna come to cinema, come to theaters to watch a B movie about some people on a spaceship being terrorized by some space creature, whatever. But after the success of a little movie called Star Wars, back in May 25th of 1977, and yes, we will be celebrating its 40th anniversary this upcoming Thursday. You know, that just puts the genre of sci-fi on a whole new level there. So of course, 20th Century Fox is like, oh shit, well, we have a gold mine here with Star Wars, so we need another script. We need another script. So it's like, hey, here's this. Well, at the time they changed it to from Star Beast to Alien, because their excuse is that they said the word alien like about 5 times in the script. So it's like, all right, well, fine, let me just change the damn thing to Alien. So cool, because they didn't really have a name for it. It's like, fuck it, let's just call it Alien. And and from there now, well, basically the screenwriters had it in mind to just be this B movie kind of sci-fi horror flick, but the studio at the time was like, you know what, it just needs some class, right? It needs some gloss. So they got on board with a British director by the name of Ridley Scott, who a couple of years before did a film called The Duelist, which I haven't seen, honestly, and I supposed to be a big Ridley Scott fan. But it's a period piece, actually, costume drama, I think it is. And he brought the credibility to this film. So like, he kind of went in, he knew that it was just going to be this horror film with a guy in a rubber suit, but he just put a lot of technical, class and just overall excellence to it. So it just kind of elevated the story from just being this kind of B movie thing, which technically, when you think about it, it's just a kind of basic haunted house movie, but just set in space. But here he just turned it into something totally different. And the movie came out in 1979. At first, it got mixed reviews because, at the time, sci-fi, when people talk about sci-fi, they were thinking 2001, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and of course Star Wars. But this one was like something totally different. Like, nobody ever saw a horror film take place in outer space. Oh yes, and there was also like those dystopian sci-fi like Solid Green and Logan's Run and those kind of shows. But this one was like the first of its kind. It was a legit sci-fi horror flick. And today it is regarded as both one of the best sci-fi movies and one of the best horror movies of all time. I more see it as one of the best sci-fi. I mean, it is horrific, but I don't see it as a horror. It's more like sci-fi, but with horror elements. It more plays on these sci-fi elements. These characters in a ship discovering this new world. In this case, is them basically this ship Nostromo, and they answer this distress beacon that's on this unknown planet. They reach there, and they see the eggs, and one of the characters, played by the late great John Hurt, gets infected with that infamous face hugger scene. And then also on the subject of that chest burster scene, believe it or not, the reactions with the actors, they did not know. So when that thing burst, that reaction that they got, that, oh my god, that kind of thing, that was real shit. Yeah, that was real.
Yeah, I think that was real,
And the first time that you do see that chest burster, like, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, this is like the freakiest shit I ever saw in my life, though. The way how the tail was turned in, the way how the mouth is opening here, and then that kind of thing. And then when it slides out and goes onto the floor, that was incredible to me. But really, what made the show so great as well, too, the standout performance, I could easily say, without a doubt, Sigourney Weaver, who plays Ellen Ripley.
Yep.
And what I like, though, is how the story was set up in such a way that you didn't really know who the main protagonist was. At first, I thought it was Dallas, played by Tom Skerritt, because his name shows up first. Sorry. But the end, it turns out to be Sigourney, because at the end, she survived. She's the lone survivor here. Well, her and that cat, and it sets up this formula that we've seen in technically
Every
the
movie.
last two, and of course Prometheus and Alien Covenant, where you have this female character, just telling people, hey, don't do this, don't do that, and they're like, no, it'll be fine, man, don't worry, just go in that cave. Look down into that egg that just opened up. What's that thing? Ooh, just listen to the woman. Fuck, just listen to what they say. You know what I mean?
But
short also is that
women with short hair.
Yeah. And yes, with the short hair and the tank top and stuff. But really what it is, what I love about it personally is that it really showed how courageous she was. You did see her vulnerable. You did see her in fear, especially in the end with that really creepy scene where she was in the escape pod, whatever.
Yeah.
And you see the alien right in the middle of like a bunch of wires and stuff. I actually thought that was like still up to this day, that scene just creeps me out. Like the lighting and the way how the creature design looks, because if you really think about it, if it's concealed in shadow, it looks like a bunch of like wires and all these kind of metallic kind of stuff just wrapped together to form this kind of creature. It's this weird kind of design. The way how it kind of hid there in that part of the ship was really genuinely creepy. And just seeing Ripley being scared, and she was singing that "You Are My Lucky Star" scene, but she was doing something. She wasn't just cowering in fear like Lambert's character, who played by Veronica Cartwright did, where she's all like and always screaming and shit. She did stuff. She took action. She was scared, but she did stuff, and that's what I really love about her character. And yeah, for me, this is one of my all-time favorite movies. Although the sequel is far better, in my opinion. If you were to choose between the two, I easily would pick Aliens. But this one works in terms of this slow building terror, and just the fact that it was all about not showing too much of the alien, which is a technique that of course Spielberg perfected in Jaws. Not showing too much of the creature. He's there, but they're not sure how big he is or where he is or where that dripping liquid came from and all that kind of stuff. But just what they did in terms of the set design, which still holds up to this day. The set design, the lighting, the music, which was done by the late great Jerry Goldsmith, and just building this tension and fear, it still holds up. So what are your thoughts on Alien? Do you love it, or do you think it still holds up as a?
The first Alien for me is like pretty much a borderline masterpiece in my opinion of filmmaking and sci-fi filmmaking.
Right.
Didn't make any sense of the world, and again, it does a thing that they decide to build off of, which is the stupidest idea when you think about it. They decide to not explain anything. That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Much smarter than you think. Because you realize when you try to explain the thing, you fuck it up.
It just falls apart. Especially with this whole thing with the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, which is the shadowy corporation that sends the crew out in the first place here.
Yeah, that is it. You don't need to get all existential about that. Yes, look, it's the corporation.
Yes,
and
that's
ship.
That's what the first movie is set up. When you think about it, it's the ship, the corporation, the alien.
Right. Right.
Like
that's all you need to do with that.
Because of something. It wasn't like in depth. You didn't need to know all that kind of stuff. One thing that always used to kind of throw me off a bit was the character of Ian Holm, who plays the spoiler alert android. Because of the way how he kind of reacts, so it's almost like this kind of flight response where he just suddenly turns violent and he's throwing Ripley about. And then all of a sudden when they hit him, starts to spaz out. I was at first, like when I used to, like the first few times I was watching, I was kind of like, well, why would this android, this near perfect machine suddenly spaz out and twitch and all that kind of stuff? I always felt that was weird.
The idea was that, remember, you're supposed to cover up. It was a whole cover up thing when the corporation was trying to do that, Weyland-Yutani was trying to do. So that was part of it, I think.
Yeah, the idea was supposed to get a sample of the creature.
Right.
And they wanted to test on it because it's like the quote-unquote the perfect organism. Because it could survive in a lot of conditions and evolve and stuff. And we've seen this evolution throughout the entire series here. But the way how, just watching it again, I love how they built up that character. At first, he wasn't sure where he was on, but they do all these subtle hints where he's sweating like in one shot, a side view, and if you look closely, you see it's white, that white sweat.
Yeah. Right.
That kind of thing. And yeah, the acting was excellent. what I really love is how real these characters felt. It didn't feel like the Starship Enterprise. It felt like real people who were just doing a job
Yeah.
for money and just happened to
Yeah,
be involved in the situation
it's
here.
truckers in space.
Yeah, truckers. Basically, that was the
blue colors,
intention
right?
from the beginning.
Because that's fascinating as well. Is the idea of blue collar work in space now. Just it's blue colors, it's not hype. It's not these brilliant people in the like Star Trek where everybody all brilliant and
yes, and have a PhD in this and knowledgeable in that, whatever.
Right, all that bullshit.
Yeah, like your feet Koto's character, the lone black man in it. He just don't like this doing it for money, bro. I respect that. I like that. It's like, when are we gonna get paid, Jen?
Yeah,
like we said, like
exactly.
We gotta get paid,
and because they're blue collar and they're disposable because it's a corporation that just need people to go to space and they'll pay them well. It's truckers in space. Yeah. That's it. Simple.
Right.
Don't need to overthink this. Yeah. Right.
So
then.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. So then we jump into Aliens, which actually took a little bit longer to come into production. Because I think at first either the studio or the writers themselves weren't really interested in doing a sequel or something like that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, they got James Cameron on board, who, well, of course, he, not just directing probably one of the best sci-fi movies ever and one of the best debut movies ever, The Terminator, which is a smash hit, but also a great screenwriter, at least in my opinion. And they got him on board to work on Aliens, which came out in 1986.
Yeah.
And what I like about this, first of all, is that, with something like this, and this is a question that they will ask again, where do we go from here? We can't do the same thing again, so we have to kind of step it up. In this case, because James Cameron and, his sci-fi action stuff with Terminator, they said, well, you know what, let me make it an action flick. But let's amp up the tension. Let's amp up the scares. Let's amp everything up, like up to 10.
Yeah.
And in true 80s Hollywood fashion, you have to bring in those Marines, man. In the 80s, especially like movies like Predator, for example, it's all about the Marines and soldiers and we are number one, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Hoorah!
It was the Ronald Reagan era.
Like, oh my God, this is so 80s shit. Just the way how the Marines talk, like assholes and elbows. Come on, man, come on. So 80s.
Yeah.
So G.I. Joe.
And then, of course,
G.I. Joe shit.
And then this movie, well, the second film also had the late great
Bill Paxton.
Game Over, man. Game Over.
Game over, man.
Sorry?
Game over.
Game Over.
Classic.
Aliens just so quotable.
Yeah.
Let's stick with Aliens. Aliens just so goddamn quotable.
Everybody online, looking good.
They mostly come out at night, mostly.
Yeah, they mostly come out at night, mostly. Carrie Han.
Yeah.
Great performance for a child actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe she's British, actually, so they just brought her on board here. And her brother, her real life brother, played the character, Newt's brother, in the film, who dies early.
Right.
But what I really love about the movie is just really, like I say, how they amp everything up, It's not just Ripley, but it's this team and how they going in, trying to stop these aliens, and just the threat of the aliens. The aliens themselves in this movie are way more terrifying, not just because it's a large amount of them, but just the way how they move. Like you're seeing that they could crawl on walls and they could swim and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very intense, very creepy as well. James Horner's score, wow, that is how you do a tense-filled score. There's just so much moments with his music popping, and I could just feel like goosebumps, in those moments where the action amps up and stuff. The third act for me is really like probably the best moment in the entire movie. Like, I mean, the first and second acts are great, but the third act, oh my God, is just nail-biting tension from beginning to end. I just love everything about it. Lance Henriksen, who plays Bishop. I love how they added a spin to the android character, so he's not untrustworthy. At first you're not sure what he's up to, but he does come true. He does help out as well. Michael Biehn, who played Reese in Terminator 1, he shows back up as Hicks, one of the Marines. So he's basically the father figure to Newt, who is one of the survivors of the planet from the first film, which is terraformed. So yeah, they introduce this whole thing of terraforming here, where they find a planet and now they want to make it hospitable for for human life and stuff. Dumb idea, I know, but whatever, is the future. And of course, Sigourney Weaver being this mother figure. And what I love, like, especially if you see director's cut, they established that Ripley had a daughter and she got old and died. So here, she has this new daughter, quote unquote, in the form of Newt. And you really saw her as his motherly character. And one brilliant scene where she goes into the mech machine is like, stay away from her, you bitch. Sorry, get away from her, you bitch. Classic line.
Here's the thing. Okay, so here's what I recommend for anybody who haven't seen it yet. I remember seeing this years ago, and I was like, not the movie. I saw the movie when it was like when I was a kid.
Right.
But
Me too.
I remember seeing this. There's a great alien. Look up Amazing Aliens Rap. Right, it's a guy called Robo Mayhem on YouTube, and this guy raps out the entire plot. And what he does, he'll cut in his lyrics with actual dialogue from the movie, so it'll rhyme now. Right, it's a little on the wonky end, a little offbeat, but god damn it, it's so entertaining because he basically runs through the entire plot. I recommend anybody look it up. It's really funny. Aliens is awesome. This movie was this movie was freaking fantastic for me. Was the female Hispanic woman name who's not played by a Hispanic?
I forget her name, but she was
Ramirez.
A badass too. Oh my god.
Yeah. Right. And then I had this kick-ass scene with two of them posing with the guns.
Yes, I love it. Real posing off with the guns, like flexing biceps and stuff. Yeah.
Right,
so
but
80s.
You're right, so 80s. But no, that movie is awesome. Oh, New Kid from Audit, only way to be sure. That amazing quote.
Yeah.
That's an internet meme now. Anytime somebody do something and you see something like it doesn't want to be a part of at all, just say New Kid from Orbit,
Yeah.
Yeah, only way to be sure.
Right.
Shit like that. This movie is an excellent movie. Again, a great sequel and follow-up. And again, logically, it make good sense. All you had to do is say, all right, you had a badass alien, just do the same thing with more of it and with guns.
Exactly.
This time.
And what
a lot of guns.
Though, in terms of like James Cameron, it shows that the man knows how to do sequels, because 6 years later, he did, which is, in my opinion, the best, yes, I said it, the best action movie of all time, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Yes.
Yeah.
I said it. Yes. Best action movie ever. It
Right.
shows that the man could do sequels and not just taking what was great about the original film and expanding on it, but also adding some new elements and also giving us characters that we could care for and root for and connect with, And you got that. You got a lot of heart, a lot of emotion. You felt the fear that these characters were going through, even right down to Bill Paxton when he was just that guy who just giving up on hope. But there are moments where it's like, oh shit, well, we done for. So you could understand why you say game over, man, game over. You laugh at it now, but it's like, shit, done.
Hot.
But this show was a huge hit. It was nominated for 7 Academy Awards. It won 2, I believe.
Wow.
Well, 1 for Best Visual Effects, and believe it or not, Sigourney Weaver got nominated for Best Actress for a sci-fi action flick. That is amazing. But yeah, her character is, wow, hands down one of the best female characters I've ever seen on film. Just how strong she was, even when she was behind the control room helping out the soldiers at first, the Marines at first, and then when she actually goes in with Newt, and especially that third act where she's going out of her way to rescue her. I thought, just her performance, her acting, everything there was just fantastic. So yeah, this was a massive hit. Still one of the best sequels ever made, hands down. And then some happened, boy. So
I don't know.
So of course,
all right. So we had to
talk about that.
So
that
one of my favorite filmmakers, probably ever, was involved with this next movie.
Yes,
a man called David Fincher.
One of the greats. Greats working today, actually, I must say.
Yeah. In my opinion, a fantastic filmmaker. Now here's my thing. Again, we'll get into the fact that how much Fox as a studio constantly does this because they have a repeat offender. The amount of fuckery that went down behind the scenes with Alien 3 and screwing over, everybody in the production, and you could see. So I decided to watch over Alien 3 because it's a movie that I really don't remember all that much about. It's just such a hot mess.
You always remember
and
1
I watched
and
it back
2, but you don't remember 3 and 4.
Right. And well, I remember 4 a lot. I actually remember 4, but I really don't remember 3 all that much.
Right.
And with 3, I watched it back over just the other day, just to prepare for this episode. And I was like, yeah, you're watching the whole thing right through. I was like, yeah, you could totally understand where they fucked this up, John. How they fuck it up. The edits, some of the edits rush in a bad way. You could tell, it was a mess on set. It had a decent enough premise, but boy, they just mess up that script. They decided they off panel Newt. Like, holy crap, they decided to just kill off Newt.
I mean, Bishop, as in Lance Henderson's character, dying, okay. Yeah, but not Newt and Hicks, man. Like, what the fuck, man? Why them? Why the family
after
structure?
All of that time, after all of that shit. So that just was like a kick in the nuts to the fan base now.
Yes, boy. On the subject of that, well, just to stop you there. The beginning of this film, right? Well, I saw the quote-unquote assembly cut, right? Which is where without David Fincher's consent, because legendarily, yes, he does not want anything to do with this movie. He claims that he is the one person on planet Earth, who hates this movie. Nobody else hates it as much as he does, and I totally understand after seeing this assembly cut here. But yeah, this one added it added the stuff that he wanted initially, but it changed up for the theatrical cut. But basically, the intro, based off of how Aliens ended, made no sense. Like, I wasn't sure the time frame of it, because what happened is, like, some face or whatever was on the ship, it attacked, and something happened with the emergency system, and that's how Newton and Hicks died. But I'm like, how much years passed? It's not like all of a sudden, let me just say, like 57 years later, suddenly this chest burster or whatever is active, and now it trying to attack
none of it
people.
Made sense.
It didn't make any sense. And then, like, when I read about it on Wikipedia, what they said is that basically it was just an excuse just to bring in another alien. And when I hear that, I was like, really? So all they just had to shoehorn an alien, but they didn't know how to do it. So it's like, oh well, let's just have an alien on the ship, even though there was no alien on the ship at the very end, But one of them actually came in, and blah 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 blah, and that's how we got Alien 3. Yeah, come on. Really?
It didn't work. Here's the thing: it had good people in this movie. It had Charles S. Dutton. He was good in this, I thought.
Remember Rock? Kids?
Yeah, Rock.
Rock was going on at the time when he did this.
At the time, right? Yeah. I know, but I thought he was a decent enough character in this. I didn't think he was so bad.
Yeah, I like this character.
Charles
that kind of it's a prison plan basically. So he's trying to change his life and that kind of stuff. Charles Dance, I was like, holy shit, he's in this too. Okay.
Good in this.
Yeah,
he's pretty good in this. It had a decent enough, like, the character, like, I get what he was trying to go for, but again, the studio just didn't give a fuck and just say, look, as usual with studios, and again, as I would say with Fox in particular, they just always show a sign of not caring, and they'll just completely shit on a project, and they say, look, if you don't fall in line with meeting, we'll destroy this whole movie, Dread.
Right.
We do business.
No,
we don't goddamn business.
Yeah, no,
Fox
one
don't
thing,
give
right?
a fuck.
Yeah, no, I was watching the assembly cut, and I'll just say this: if you want me to review it, I felt it was dull and boring. I just didn't care about anything or anyone. The biggest sin for me is that you took a great character of Ellen Ripley, and you just like dilute the character. She just don't care.
Yeah, nonsense.
And it's not just because they shave she hair ball, and there's this whole issue with the contract about her wanting to do it and all that kind of shit. I'm not even gonna get into that. But just her character was just so dull and lifeless. But it's just like she just give up on hope, and she just run through the motions. But one thing that confused the hell out of me, and still up to this day, maybe it's because I was sleeping with my eyes open, but I just didn't pick up on it, right? So in the assembly cut, not the director's cut. Oops, wrong term. There's like this ox, right? So basically, they're raising some oxen in some part, right? And one of the oxen is brought on board, and in this really particularly creepy and disturbing scene, this one scene actually creeped the shit out of me. Okay, keep cutting back and forth, and you're just seeing the chest opening there. That actually freaked me out.
I know that.
That was cool. So. At the back of my mind, it's like, all right, the alien is inside this ox, it's coming out. In the theatrical cut, it's a dog, and I don't remember the theatrical cut, but from the clip I saw,
I saw that version. I saw the version you're talking about with the ox, yeah.
Right. So, how did the alien get in the ox? Now, the speculation is the whole lice thing, because There was some lice on the ground when they pulled out Ripley onto this beach, which had like oil and stuff. It was dirty and stuff, and it was like, lice all over the place. I was wondering if the lice is what somehow ate the freaking chest burster or whatever, or facehugger or whatever, and it went into the ox. I don't know. How did that get in the ox?
Okay. Actually, the latest films explain a lot of that shit because Prometheus and Covenant does somewhat explain this to a certain extent, which is the black goo thing.
The black goo. Okay.
Right. That bullshit. But you see, in the original 4 films, you wouldn't know that at all. No. Like, you couldn't piece that together. I couldn't piece it together.
All you knew is facehugger, chest burster. That's all you're given.
Right. That's it. Exactly. So and that's the thing. Well, a lot of these movies try to, like, do a lot of backpedaling bullshit now. Yeah. That's one of the problems with the franchise, that the franchises are generally a mess. So, whatever.
Yeah. There's a couple things to talk about before we jump into Alien Resurrection, right? So, another thing, the CG fit, I wasn't impressed by it. The production design was decent for the most part.
Yeah, no, the alien, that stop motion, the alien that came out of the ox, that was terrible.
Yeah, something about how it looked
bad. Well, I don't know if I'd be impressed with that at the time, like when that came out, but I watch it now. It's like, that don't hold up
at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if it was like an evolved version of it, and that's another thing that they kind of play around in this series. Evolved, so I assume, because it looked different compared to how these xenomorphs looked in like the first and second film. It looked like it was evolved somehow, right? And then they had this really terrible ending where, heaven knows how the fuck Ripley knows is a queen inside of her, but she knows it's a queen, right? She knows it's a queen because that's why the xenomorph is following she all over the place. And in one scene, one of the iconic scenes where the alien was breathing on her and Ripley's all scared and shit, which kind of is against a character in my opinion. But anyway,
it's an iconic scene because it look badass and everything.
That's like that picture. One scene you remember from like the trailers and stuff.
But the movie, that's the only thing I remember.
You always remember that one shot, But she have a queen inside of her, so she just sacrifices her life and then she falls down into this lava pit. Now in the theatrical cut apparently, the queen burst out and she held it.
Okay.
She held it back, not cradling it, but kind of she was stuffing it back because she didn't want it to fly out.
To come out, right?
And she falls into the pit, but in the assembly cut they changed that entirely. It's like, fuck this shit, it don't work. So they just have it just fall into the pit. And I think the chest bursts and she just dies. Okay, whatever, it ends. I find that was a total letdown of an ending. Like, to me,
mess.
Like,
total mess.
If you were thinking about it, like back in '92, this is how you end your trilogy. That's a terrible way to end a trilogy. That's like the Matrix Revolutions of the Alien series thus far. Like, man, don't kick your audience in the nuts like that. Just come on, something better than that. Yeah. And then you make your character so vulnerable, like to the point that she was weak, and then the whole thing with her in a plan with a bunch of men. Interesting kind of premise, but making her so weak, it's like, and last thing I'll say, I barely remember her doing anything. Like in 1 and 2, she took action. 3, I don't even know what she did. I don't know. What did she do? I don't know. She just cowered in fear and she fell into a lava pit. That's all I remember. Everything else is just characters dying and shit. Characters that they don't care about, by the way. Which leads us to Alien Resurrection. Which came out in the same year, by the way, that 2 of the most legendarily bad movies of all time came out. Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Batman and Robin. So 97 was a year, boy.
Yeah, a hot mess year.
A hot mess year. But Alien Resurrection in retrospect wasn't like a big gigantic flop like those 2, but it was terrible. It was terrible.
This was a garbage movie, and the thing is that wait, I had people I like in it. It had
Ron Perlman was in it.
Ron Perlman was in this,
my boy who played the drug dealer fella from Breaking Bad. I'm forgetting his name.
Right.
Yeah, Tuco is in this movie.
Bryan Cranston?
No, not Bryan Cranston. Tuco, the guy he was trying to do, the crazy Mexican drug lord. Yeah, him. He was in that. Winona Ryder, who was big at the time as an actress.
As a robot.
Terrible casting choice, by the way. Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, she was horrible.
But the worst thing that they do...
because, like, wait. why they have an android in this? Because and all the androids supposed to be male. Like, why they have a female android in this? And I remember again, Ridley Scott like to fuck around. He was like trying to square the idea. Well, it really the Blade Runner universe anyway. So all of them is replicants, and all of that is the same.
Oh,
like
really?
it's a different company.
I never look at it like that, to be honest. I never look at the replicants
He's trying to
being that.
Always try to do that bullshit. He's is really this, and he tried to like square his universes now. And again, he like terrible in that way now. Like whatever, fuck that.
Right. But the worst thing that they do in terms of characterization. Listen, but the worst thing that they do in terms of characterization was Ellen Ripley. What the fuck was up with that character? All of a sudden, she like real overtly sexual, and there's like these really creepy moments with her and Winona Ryder where she like staring she down and hugging she up and stroking her hair and like, what the fuck is this? And I'll just get to one big gigantic flaw with it, right? But once again, the answer is because we need an alien. So in last episode, we saw Ripley fall into a pit and die. Right. Now we cut to years later, and Weyland-Yutani, I believe, are trying to they clone her and they're doing these aliens again, right? So at first, when we introduce Ripley, you see the chest burst inside of her, right? So I was wondering at first, well, two things. First of all, did they put that inside of her and it was just testing to see how she was able to cope with that physically? But then that don't make sense because look at the other characters, like from the previous Alien series, they had this thing inside of them and then suddenly they spaz out, then boom, it come out. It's just like Alien 3 for some reason. It just took her a long while and then it's in the end it come out. But how would Weyland-Yutani know about this? Because it's only near the end when they came to... I don't know, I think they came to intervene or whatever, but they just came when she died. And then secondly, if that's not the case, then how they managed to clone her with this chest burster inside of her? How?
I don't give a shit.
But the reason is because we need an alien in this movie.
Yeah.
But
it didn't work.
Make no sense, Fred. Why? What?
Yeah.
It's not enough. It's not hard enough you had a clone Ripley of all people, but no, let's just introduce her with this chest burster so people think, so maybe she didn't die after all. Maybe Weyland-Yutani came and took the body and the alien was still inside. So that's how they got to do this. Bullshit. But it still don't make no sense.
She fell in a big metal pit, a molten steel pit, so whatever. This movie, and then they had the goal to do this bullshit. Oh gosh, they had the goal to do this bullshit. The alien baby thing in the end. What the fuck, Judd? That was a terrible choice. I think
one of the ugliest,
worst,
most unintentionally dumbest things I've ever seen in film ever. Like, just Google it. Look at the face of that. Like you could tell the director, who did two films that I haven't seen, unfortunately, Delicatessen and City of Lost Children. I heard those were great kind of dystopian films. Haven't seen them, whatever. But dude, I get that they're trying to make this character look pitiful and stuff, but what is up with that creature design is terrible. What was that?
Yeah, that's bad.
That's laughable. And I don't know, just everything about this didn't make any sense. You have these pirates who just deliver prisoners to these scientists, and they're just doing these tests on the aliens. One thing that I actually like about the show is how the aliens escape. So yes, they have these aliens trapped, like captive basically, which goes against the law of alien itself, because they are the perfect organism, so they're not even supposed to be taken captive. What the hell? Even if they are being created, still kind of goes against their culture, whatever it is. But I like the way how they manage to escape, and then I wouldn't say how it happens, but then from there is just horror cliches 101, which you'll get into with a later entry. It's just all these characters that you don't give a shit about dying. There's one scene where Winona Ryder's character gets shot, and then she falls down into this pit with water, and then somehow she's back. But then you have this black fella who real skill with guns, and he happens to fall and he dies. I was like, so why he couldn't just swim his way back out? He didn't get shot or anything. He falls and he dies, but the robot lived, right? Yeah, whatever. And then Ripley didn't care about her. There was just this thing about trying to impregnate her, and then the mother was there, and all these aliens and just shit didn't care about, whatever. Yeah, but what were your thoughts on Alien Resurrection? Apart from it being just a laughably terrible movie.
Yeah, it was just a laughably terrible movie. I mean, and nothing worked. Almost nothing worked in that film. I mean, it had its moments. Yeah, it had its moments. It had some dumb moments, like again the basketball scene. I remember. I was like, wow.
Yeah, like Ripley playing basketball.
Goddamn cheesy and ridiculous.
What was that?
Yeah.
What?
But, yeah, nothing made sense. Whatever.
And then at the very end, before we get to a couple more issues. Yeah.
By the way, we forget to mention the fact that this was written by Joss Whedon,
who also was pressured by Fox because
Fox fucking it up.
He was like, well, this whole clone thing don't work, But it's like, no, we must have that because Sigourney Weaver wants to be in this movie and nobody's gonna see an alien movie without Sigourney Weaver. She's like, well, all right, fine, fuck it. And yeah, the man just went through hell because he had to do rewrite after rewrite just to please Fox and to please Sigourney Weaver.
With the bullshit,
With the bullshit, man. Yes, even Sigourney Weaver with she bullshit. I hate to say that, but she bullshit.
Yeah, she didn't need to be in this project.
She wanted to be in this, and she didn't want that, and all these little things, man. Like, what the hell? Come on.
Yeah.
But the end of it was like, okay, so they're back on Earth, and Earth is like this kind of post-apocalyptic waste. So I'm like, okay, so what happened on Earth during all these events of Aliens 1 to 4? Like, it's not this. They don't say anything. It just ends like that.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, it's really goddamn stupid.
Right.
And then, we can talk about just the general extra stuff in the franchise. Like, you'd have the video games.
Great.
Some pretty kick-ass video games, actually.
The one for PlayStation 1, I remember, what was it? It was Alien something. I can't remember what game it was.
Yeah.
But I remember playing
a bunch
that
of great games.
Time, yeah.
No, so the first big Alien game I got into was actually the Alien versus Predator games. So we're not getting into the movies just yet.
Yes.
But it had popular comics, Alien, the video games, a kick-ass, like shoot 'em up. Was part of that. That was great.
Brought out the AVP comics, and that was around the same night that they did, which was just as excellent. If you get a chance to check it out, please do. RoboCop versus Terminator, really badass, really awesome.
Yeah. It had the Alien games that came out. They had a recent Alien game for the PC I played. What was the name of this one? But that Alien Colonial Marines, which was a complete disaster.
Oh, never played it. Disaster, never bothered with it.
No, it don't play it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And in my opinion, what they did was tantamount to fraud by basically lying to people. But
wow, yeah.
But then they had the excellent Alien Isolation. That was a good damn game. Totally recommend it. You're basically playing is a stealth game where you had to run from an alien on a ship. That's it. That's your move. That's your game.
Yeah.
And it's really well done. I totally recommend it. Right. There are a bunch of great Alien versus Predator games where you could play as Predator and Alien in a first-person shooter kind of thing, or you could play as a Marine. So it was Marine, Alien, or Predator, and you could play a kind of multiplayer kind of something with it. Those were great.
Yeah, those were great.
Those were at least solid for me.
Right.
And overall, they just had some great, solid Alien games. They had a game called, not part of the official Alien franchise, but it could have been, called Alien Swarm. This was just a top-down 4-player shooter where you're playing as a Marine, but it was basically in the same vein as the Aliens because the Aliens just acted like aliens anyway.
Right.
That was pretty badass. I recommend just playing that for people because it's just so much fun and well done.
Right.
Yeah. And overall, I just recommend. It has just a bunch of great games, and I sure I miss a bunch, but then we could get in. Well, we had to get into the Alien vs Predator series.
Yes. And it's a good thing that you mentioned video games because the director of the first movie just so happened to adapt 2 of our favorite video games, Mortal Kombat, which still remains my favorite video game movie, and Resident Evil. So yes, Paul W.S. Anderson was brought on board to do the first AVP movie, and I remember seeing it in theaters because like holy shit, we getting an AVP, live action movie.
That movie.
Problem with it was that PG-13 rating though. At first I was turned off by it, but I was like, maybe it might be good.
Yeah, no, for me. So a couple of things. I don't remember hating this movie all that much, frankly.
It
was silly and dumb.
Unforgettable.
It was silly and dumb, and it totally breached a bunch of continuity. Like for some reason, I think Lance Henriksen was in this one.
Yes, and he was playing. He was playing a Wayland. I'm not sure which Wayland it was.
Right, so it was
Peter Wayland or whatever, but he was.
But no, it can't be Peter, but it'll be right. It was a Wayland.
Yeah.
But it was looking just like him, so it's like, oh, he tried to make one of the robots after his grandfather, whoever it is, whoever.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
Right.
Whatever. So now later on, she was okay in this.
Yeah,
Actually, liked her.
she was serviceable in it. I was like,
right.
Yeah, why they have she in it? Okay, because they need a black female actress. Okay, but
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it was unprecedented having a black female lead in a sci-fi franchise out of all things, and she was actually a decent enough character in my opinion, and she's still fine as hell. So
and they gave her but they gave her some real goofy moments, especially when she teamed up with the Predator. The moment that had me laughing, Dread, is when the freaking Predator, right, took the xenomorph's head and took like a claw and put it onto this spear. So basically, she have a shield and a spear. I was like, holy shit, this is so dumb.
No, but I see them running together because like they explain, right. So they explain the thing about like why it is that the aliens and the predators fighting, and it's like, oh no, it's like
sense when you think about it. Yeah,
I love that. I thought that was a decent enough premise. Like, well, it's them being it's just hunting. They hunted them.
Yeah, and that's how you rise within your ranks. You become a warrior.
Right, and the aliens is like ultimate prey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the xenomorphs is the ultimate prey, and you're hunted down. Damn goofy hell premise, goofy as hell. But it totally worked for me. I remember having fun with this film. It was dumb, man. Movie fucking suck. Let's be clear about that. But
yeah, but for me though, it's not as continue.
Yeah, no, it's just not as insulting and ridiculous as the previous two Indian films, in my opinion. No. Actually, kind of put us above 3 and 4.
Me too. In my book, me too, because It knows what it is. It's goofy, it's silly, but for me, it's one of those shows you can just watch on a Saturday night when you have nothing else better to do. Is like, what's on TV? Oh, AVP, I haven't seen that yet. Shit, I'm gonna watch that. It's dumb, it's silly, but I, for the most part, didn't hate it. I did love it, of course, but it's fun. It is what it is, So I can't really argue with that. And then we have,
but then
you had to
squander that. You had to basically squander the little goodwill by bringing out the bullshit, the utter bullshit that was Requiem.
Yes, Alien
versus
Predator Requiem, which I will say right now, in my opinion, is one of the worst movies I have had the misfortune of ever seeing. I saw this on big screen because Chip and me was like, yes, we get a rated R, yes! And I went in, I barely remember anything. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And I watched it recently, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Yeah, all right, this little side story, right? So on Facebook currently, all right, so I got inspired from this from Roger Ebert. So he has these books where he's talking about his favorite movies of all time, and then he also have like his worst movies of all time books, right? So I have this Facebook photo album where I put pictures of my best. While watching Requiem in preparation for this, I just kind of paused the show. I created this new album. I call it Bun This Movie, yeah? And the first picture that I put in it was a still from Requiem. And here's the thing about that still. It was brightly lit compared to the majority of this movie, because nearly everything in the show when it comes to the aliens and the predators are in freaking silhouette and shadow. You can barely see or understand what's going on. And the story is just so terrible. So, all right, so... Yes, I like how they start off from the beginning where, where the last film stopped off, where, yes, one of the predators got killed, and yes, an alien bursts out, so we have this hybrid. Okay. Right. The ship crashes on Earth, the predators get wiped out, blah, 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 blah. But what gave me, when I saw it again, is how this lone predator who just sitting down there on his planet, la-di-da-di-da, having to pick up on this signal that, hey, my brethren get killed by it. So now I had to go down to Earth and find out what's going on, Jed. Nobody fucking with my team, Jed. I had to go and find them, Jed. I had to kill them. Whoever just killed my brethren, then I let that slide out. Jump in a ship, come to Earth, realize, and he takes one of the predators' mask, puts it on, and gets his visual flashback of what happens. Like, oh, it's a pred alien now. So now I have to go and hunt this thing. But here's the catch: there are humans running up and down looking for characters, none of which I care about, and none of which you should care about. And then one particular scene, one of the characters runs away from the predator, and the predator just like grab him and skin him alive. I was like, but predators don't kill humans. That doesn't make any sense. No. You're not supposed to kill humans that don't pose a threat. Remember in the original Predator, the guys had guns and they posed a threat, so that's why they got wiped out. Except for that's why the villager, the chick survived. Right. So this guy didn't even do anything. I don't even remember him pulling a gun at him. But all of a sudden you just kill him and skin him up or whatever. And he catches with this show, which this is the main reason why this movie feel is primarily a fan film. It's made by these guys, the Strauss brothers. They've worked on a bunch of not TV shows, a bunch of music videos and movies. They worked on Avatar and Titanic and stuff in the special effects department now. So they were like, well, yeah, we're the biggest fans of Aliens and Predators. We could make this excellent movie about them together. And what you saw is just cliche after cliche, just their versions of famous scenes from the original movies. You even have a Get to the Chopper scene, which was like a slap to my face. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Get to the Chopper? Or I just need to do this again? And one thing
sure
about this show that I just really hated, he had all this set up with all these characters. He even had this Ripley knockoff, this chick who just came back from the army. I didn't care about her. I didn't care about her daughter. I didn't care about her husband, and he's the only character I recognize, because he used to play that shapeshifter dude from True Blood, the guy who used to work at the bar. Yeah, that was him. Sorry, the sports bar, the pub, whatever the fuck the place was. Yeah, he was that guy who suddenly used to turn into shapeshift into animals, and he used to love. He had a thing for Suki. But anyway, that's a whole other story, right? So he got killed off real shitty as well too. He looks at the windows like, I don't see anything, and then the alien just come and kill him. That's it. Everything else is just characters that you don't give a shit about. Just keep dying. The aliens just there running about, and it really shows what made the first two Aliens so great, is that because you had these tight areas, this sense of claustrophobia, just being in these tight areas and not knowing where to go and where this alien could be. And now you have these aliens just running around in the open. It lessens the tension. It's just, these characters go here, and then to add further insult to injury, the lights go out, so it's all darkness and pitch black and stuff. So yeah, these aliens could just jump out of nowhere and just kill people. In one scene that just took me entirely out of the show. This was terrible. Like, just visually, graphic wise, it was just terrible. This random chick in a hospital about to give birth, an alien see her, and you know what he do? He just grabs her and bites her, and basically is like puking out eggs, and you just see it going down her neck. I mean, it was gross and it was nasty and it was disgusting, but it was just dumb, so dumb. And then her chest bursts, and you see like 5 or 6 chest bursters just going, But everything about it was just terrible. And the music was terrible. The story was terrible. The characters poorly written. I just didn't care about none of that. But like I say, if it wasn't for that show, I would not have created that Facebook photo album. Because burn that movie, Trey. That was a horrible movie. Waste of time. Nobody should watch this show. But Ricardo, what are your thoughts on Requiem? Bullshit.
Yeah, I remember this. Well, I didn't see it in theaters, but I remember seeing it on cable.
Lucky you.
I was like,
you.
It was a mess. I didn't care. It really looked bad. I didn't care, and I remember what year that was 2007, right?
2007, yeah.
That was the year Spider-Man 3 came out.
And Venom was actually a better villain. Sorry, better alien than the aliens. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, there was, like, I had no idea who the protagonist was, so I say, fuck it. Let the Predator be the protagonist. Because he's the guy doing the most interesting shit in the whole show. He was going around killing aliens, being a badass. Yeah, sure, he didn't see much of everything what was going on. Especially in the end, when he had to square off against the Pred alien, and it's just darkness and rain falling, all that kind of stuff. And at times you're thinking the Pred alien is actually the Predator, and vice versa. But yeah, the Predator was the star of the show. Everybody else, I don't care. Nobody. They were expendable,
Right. Yes, it's a shame.
It's a shame. Damn shame.
Flash forward
to 2012.
5 years.
Yeah.
Well, 5 years.
Right. And we got the surprise film, at least surprise to me, Prometheus, which was a surprise not just because it's a prequel to the Alien franchise, but also Ridley Scott back in the director's chair, doing a unique take, in my opinion, on the alien, on the alien mythos, just adding more to it. And without spoiling too much, because I really don't want to get into story here. Here he gets all existential. He brings a lot of elements from Blade Runner, especially with the character of David, the android, played excellently, in my opinion, by Michael Fassbender. And this whole idea of who created who, And this idea of creating life and what this life and free will and all that kind of stuff. We kind of saw the beginnings of this xenomorph character. Where did it come from? And you had this story arc going on where these bunch of characters go into this planet, trying to find these the creators, I believe that's what they're called. Yeah.
The engineers?
The engineers, yeah.
Engineers,
right.
Yeah.
And for me, well, before we get into your opinion, for me, the first time I saw it, I was blown away, first of all, by the visuals. I saw it in 3D. I thought that this was a gorgeous looking movie. The narrative, like when I look at it again, the narrative does not hold up as much as I felt it did the first time I saw it. Like, I appreciate the fact that he wanted to be a little bit more existential, a little bit more intelligent, a little bit more thought-provoking with Alien, of all things. Yeah. But I felt that the problem was, and I think this is just because of the expectations that a new Alien movie has, and you'll see that again with this one here, and of course with the groundwork that the previous Alien movies have, where at the end of the day it's an Alien movie. So where's the alien? Why are we seeing all this stuff about the engineers and all this kind of stuff? Come on, get to the good shit. And then when you get to the good shit, it's like it's terrifying. It's really engaging, but at the same time it's like, but come on, it kind of clashes a lot tonally with the pretty much the first half of the film, which was like kind of setting up this whole bigger world and this idea of these creatures, these aliens pretty much being the ones who created humans and kind of unconsciously creating the xenomorphs, so that kind of stuff. But the tones really clash a lot. But I mean, it's not as bad as all that. I see the effort. I appreciate the ambition that went into it. It's not a perfect movie, but I would say it's a good effort. So like, I wrote a review of it before. I'll put the link to it below here, and I gave it a 4. Now look at it again, I'd give it a 3.5. It just a half a star step down because tonally it just doesn't connect as well as it should. But it was a good effort. It was a good effort in terms of expanding the universe and adding a lot of thought and depth into this franchise. Is it needed? I can't really say, but so, whatever.
Right. Here's the thing. I personally really hated this movie. It didn't work for me. Here's the problem. I think it's because of the hype. This movie had probably one of the best marketing campaigns leading up to it.
Yes.
In my opinion. Like,
I love the trailer of it. The first couple of trailers, brilliant.
Yeah. No, they had some like brilliant stuff like that was more a viral marketing campaign. So they had like the David campaign and like this Apple thing.
Yes.
Introducing David.
David being this product.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, this is so well done.
Yeah.
And they just had all this extra like little stuff like involving the character Elizabeth Shaw and what they're going on with the symbols and creating this, and they find this stuff in the cave and all of this shit. And then the actual movie itself just was such a goddamn mess from a script wise. Yes, I agree. It looked damn good. They shoot somewhere in Iceland or some shit. So these amazing landscapes and waterfalls and wherever it is, that look damn good.
And even the interiors look gorgeous. So. The interiors of the ship Prometheus here.
Yeah, no, set design and all that stuff. I give them all of that, right? But boy, this was a hot mess, Judd. Script didn't make sense. Characters were incredibly dumb.
Yes.
I mean,
looking at it again, they do some dumb shit. They are characters that do some incredibly dumb shit.
It as usual with Ridley Scott, he has a track record of director's cut. The directorial cut, don't trust that. You're gonna get a director's cut. And in many cases, I agree. The director's cut is almost always better. Kingdom of Heaven is probably the most extreme example of that. But this movie, the director's cut don't really help the movie. It was just a mess still. Like, they have this one part in particular that was just so goddamn dumb, where they spend a bunch of time explaining, like, they're mapping out the place. They had a map out the place with these these things, you know.
Right.
And then, like, less than 15 minutes later, the same characters lost for some reason. I'm like, wait, what happened to the whole map thing? Did explain that?
Well, I don't remember them explaining. I haven't seen it. I have seen the theatrical cut twice, so
I don't know.
This is news to me, actually. This is kind of silly.
Yeah. I don't know if they like, I take a sneeze or I was like not paying attention. Did they explain why these characters get lost? And then they have characters sticking their head in places they shouldn't, where you're seeing this weird alien snake thing.
Like the two guys who saw the alien snake thing is like, oh, look at that, it's so cute. And
Yeah,
then
it's like,
of
and it's
course
like,
the
but it's not
fucking
supposed
thing
to be.
goes on your face like like
Yeah,
dude, we
and it's
expect that.
real goddamn dumb. It was really goddamn dumb. This one was it was so stupid. And then Charlie Theron and this couldn't decide to take a left turn, so the big rolling thing roll on her. It's
Yeah,
like,
that
all
was
right,
like
that
a
was so
dumb
dumb.
way to kill her off though.
And then they had a big reveal, which is Raylan is alive all this time, and I was like, all right. And then that didn't go anywhere, and that was stupid.
Yeah.
And then they decided to do the ending. It was like, all right, well, we're gonna look for the engineers. Shaw and David
Shaw and
survived.
David, yeah.
Well, David.
Well,
Shaw and David
kind
head.
of ripped to pieces or whatever, but yeah,
Right.
they do go out.
Whatever. This was such a goddamn letdown. It was so stupid. Movie didn't work. Why are people who defending it? A lot of people defended it. I'm not one of them clearly, but
yeah. Well,
it just didn't work.
For me, I like I said, I think it works in just expanding this universe a little bit more, because what really said is what he wanted to do. He wanted to tell a new story, but he just used quote unquote strands of DNA from aliens. So in a way, it feels like Alien, especially near the end, but in its way, it's its own thing. And I get that, and I'll get to that same thing here with Covenant, where it's like, at the end of the day, you still have to fall back on the fact that, yes, at the end of the day, it's an alien movie. So alienisms give us the alienisms,
Right, and that's right.
And that's
exactly.
how the end
and,
of
for me,
Prometheus felt to me. Like, here's your alienisms, folks. If you find that everything else was boring and, head up his own ass, here's the ending. See? Alien? Huh? Right.
So, exactly. So, that's why I was so disappointed, because the script was so dumb. Like, again, all of the existential, metaphysical stuff is fine, right? Especially Shaw's character. I like her character. Her character was
me too. I like her character arc.
And they give her character some kind of thematic weight. It's like, oh, she can have children, but they do the children thing. Like the scene that was supposed to be the big shocking scene, which kind of fell flat, but it was still a decent scene. Whereas, she had the alien baby in her, right?
Yeah. First time I saw that, that was some creepy shit though.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scene where she basically had to give herself a C-section / abortion kind of thing.
Her stomach back.
Jeez. Right. Yeah. Now, they could have made that scene so much deeper if they wanted, and that's the problem. The movie just needed polish, and just so unpolished in so many ways. Like, to me, if they had a human baby come out of her, that would have been pretty goddamn amazing. Like, if it was a human baby, but that was a hybrid, so it looked more human than alien. So instead of just this alien squid monster thing, didn't care.
Yeah, but I thought that the setup with her and her boyfriend wasn't done well. Because there's this moment where they're arguing, and then it's like, oh, well, sorry, I didn't bring up wait, did I bring up that thing about kids? And then he just kind of resolved where they have sex, and then lo and behold, that's where David comes up to the guy. Is like, well, yeah, comes up to Shaw. It's like, yeah, you're pregnant. It's like, how is this possible?
Yeah,
that setup was really, really sloppy.
It
was just an excuse
for them
really
to
sleep together, and then she gives birth, and blah blah blah. Yeah,
right. It didn't work. The guys at RLM they have a really funny video involving basically just asking a bunch of questions. What's the point of the black goo? Because it was just a bunch of unanswered questions. By the way, it was written by Damon Lindelof. Big fucking surprise.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Mr. Lost himself.
Yeah.
Even though he writing a show I like, but this show is based on a book anyway, so I don't expect him to add anything, which is he part of the Leftovers. And I enjoy the Leftovers, even though I expect that show to go Lost direction bullshit. Set up a bunch of shit and have no payoff. That's Damon Lindelof for you in a nutshell.
Wow. You can't
so
do
it was just
that though.
Yeah. So with Prometheus, and then they had the goal to end Prometheus by not even answering a set of questions. Like, well, we'll answer it in the next film.
Yeah.
A bunch of questions.
And at first though, all right. So Roger Ebert mentioned this in his review where he actually appreciated the fact he kind of criticized the fact that yes, there were some questions that were left unanswered, but it kind of adds to the sci-fi vibe of it. Sorry, the kind of existential vibe of it. Like say like how Blade Runner was, where it didn't answer questions, but you still go back to it wanting to learn more and you pick up a little bit more. That kind of thing. Exactly. But still, I know what you mean. Blade Runner, you wish that you got some answers to these really hard questions that that Prometheus asked her.
Right. But that's the problem I see with people like Lindelof, is that Lindelof just write a first episode of a series, of a season,
Yeah.
Instead of answer the question, it's like, you're not supposed to be part of this. have a complete story and then do a little thread here or there to expand. Right. Blade Runner worked because Blade Runner was its own story. You had about, you had Deckard, you had to find the thing, you had to find this person, you had to get to Rutger Hauer's character. I was forgetting him. And
I forgot his character.
He had an arc. They had an arc, right? This had no arc. It was an arc and a peak, and then it didn't end.
Yeah, it didn't come down. It just paused for the sequel.
Shit.
Yeah.
I was massively disappointed in this movie. I hated it. Very little bit made sense.
I like I say, I appreciate the effort. I liked it at the time, but just looking back at it now, I do see the flaws, especially with his narrative. It doesn't hold up as much as all that, but I would say it was one of the more better. It's actually one of the better efforts in terms of telling a new Alien story. Like, to me, this is what Alien 3 was trying to do, but it just failed miserably because of Fox and bullshit now. Which leads us now to Alien Covenant. You just want to run through the story because I've been running through stories.
All right. So
what's Covenant about?
This ship. So the ship, they want to go to a planet, big colony ship, starring that guy
the colony
from
ship called the Covenant. Yes. So
Covenant.
has a bunch of humans there, and just looking for this planet to hospitable planet. Continue.
Right.
Yeah.
Character called Daniels. She's introduced in the storyline. Basically, well, not Daniel. Sorry. You see another Michael Fassbender playing Walter.
Yes. Another android, same face, everything. But he has a southern accent though, compared to the British accent that he had.
I kind of get what he was doing with that, because the idea was that he was, I think, mimicking Lance Henriksen a little bit.
Oh, you mean from Aliens, that kind of thing?
Right.
Yeah.
That was the logic. Like, I was like, why are you sounding so weird now? I was like, oh, it's sounding kind of like that, or followed or whatever.
Just to talk about that for a bit. What I thought is because the majority of the characters in the characters in Covenant are American, I assume they just wanted an American sounding character, so they would feel,
right. Okay, that's
so you'll kind of blend in, be normal, quote unquote, with the other characters, as opposed to I'm British and I know everything, that kind of thing that Prometheus did.
Yeah, but you got that. But and then the movie opens. I thought this was a pretty decent opening, with David. So you get to see David's origin.
Yeah. With a younger Peter Whelan, who was played last time by Guy Pearce. I believe he plays him here in this one year. Yeah, I actually love this. Young Guy Pearce. Sorry, I actually love this. That's
another thing I hated about. That's another thing that pissed me off about Prometheus. Old Guy Pearce, that makeup was so fucking shit. The old Guy Pearce, the makeup. Holy crap! How they could fuck up makeup so badly?
I can't remember.
That's some of the worst makeup I've ever seen.
I can't remember the history behind. Like, I think they had an old guy in cast, or somebody else they had, and they just figured,
they should cast an old guy.
Yeah. They said, hey, let's add prosthetics on Guy Pearce. Let's see how that
terrible.
Works. Hey.
It was terrible. Like, I don't understand the decision process behind it. What he's trying to live forever, so he could stay looking young. It was just looking terrible.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, back to Covenant. Mm-hmm.
So Covenant. So basically, the ship, they was going through like cycle routines. They're about 7 years away from the planet they wanted to go to, and then they get hit from some solar event. I forget what it was. It's like a pulsar or some shit like that. These pulsars happen randomly.
Like that, I think it was.
I forget what it was. Yeah, it's something akin to like a coronal mass ejection, but bigger. But it's like a pulsar pulsing out. Pulsars is pulse, right?
Right.
Pulsar's gonna pulse, and they get hit. Ship get damaged badly. A bunch of people die, and they had to fix this problem
as well.
Right, Captain Dave. Yeah, James Franco was in it. Yeah, that was kind of little funny cameo. So this girl Danielle, she wakes up. She's the star. She's the new Ripley, basically. Once you have a shorty and a tank top, your action girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she comes through, and then basically what happens is that they get, while repairing the ship, they say, okay, they see a planet hospitable. Decide to go down, right, against better judgment, of course.
I know. Listen to the female characters when they say, I don't think that's a good idea. Listen. But anyway.
And basically, so they learn. And then they get attacked from some aliens, alien type creatures, and then you meet a new character, and then the story builds from there. They meet a character who is from Prometheus, and you learn, oh, this planet is something important.
Yeah.
And right, So it's unclear what exactly happened, but basically you learn about David, what David was up to in the last 10 years. 10 years passed from since the events of Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
And they start getting into shenanigans. And they get into the whole story about, they show David versus Walter, which basically had a kind of Data versus Law thing, if anybody knows who Data and Law is, from Star Trek TNG. So you have to slip in with Star Trek TNG knowledge. And it was basically that. It was the evil robot versus the good robot.
Yes.
And they get into that arc.
Right, so you could just kind of start off with that whole good versus evil robot thing. One thing that I do praise the film for is the performance, the dual performance, I should say, by Michael Fassbender. I thought that was pretty interesting. Unexpected for me. I didn't see that one coming. But the way how they played it out, I thought was decent. There is one shot, and I was like, yeah, all this showing off here. Where it's this simulated long take, where the camera kind of does a 180, so you're seeing from one side view, from one front view of Walter to a front view of David, and back and forth. I was like, oh, the bastards are showing off here. Okay, that was cool. What they do with that relationship afterwards is kind of sketchy, but maybe we'll talk about that just now. But continue,
right. So they basically get into the idea of, well, when somebody has too much time on their hands, what happens? And so the guy, if you remember, RLM does a run through of Alien, and he had a whole joke about is David a secret asshole? Remember, he made that joke.
Yeah,
that's basically what it was. So they get into the idea of freedom, and it's a lot of heavy themes that kind of work.
Yeah,
but the problem is that
carry over from Prometheus very well. For the most part.
Because here's the thing. Even though Prometheus built up a lot of things, they kind of didn't answer any questions.
Right.
Because they kind of answer questions and they decide to do their own thing with their own script. Because they say, all right, well, we can't be too heady. The fans kind of hated the whole heady thing, but we had to keep the heady but make it still visceral.
Yeah, we had to keep the heady because it's Ridley Scott.
I'm gonna give him a quick initial review. This movie was better than expected, but ultimately it felt pointless. It doesn't really help with lore or mythos in any way when you think about it. This is not an Alien trilogy; it's more the David trilogy, right? It's the David trilogy because basically they're gonna follow up. Well, at the end, there's a big spoiler at the end of this involving David, whatever, right? And I'm gonna just get into the fact that the Alien franchise never needed lore mythos building in the first place at all. Because that's the problem with Prometheus. Prometheus just shit the bed when it comes to that world building because it didn't give a fuck about the engineers. And yeah, apparently they don't give a fuck about the engineers too because they decided to just wipe that whole slate with that whole thing. And I hated that. The movie had a lot of good, but it had a lot of dumb moments. Like really dumb moments. Like real typical cliche bullshit moments. But it more felt like oversights on the script, from the script writing more than anything. And I'll say a lot of the foreshadowing in the film felt too obvious. You saw a lot of the supposed twist coming. But ultimately, as usual with Ridley Scott, I'm waiting for a better edit, to come down the pipeline somewhere. Like I'm waiting for an edit. Much like in other Ridley Scott movies, they say, all right, a theatrical cut that make things, it just didn't gel together the way it should have. I didn't hate this movie. But it just played to the beat of Alien fans just to keep me smiling for a while. I was using my popcorn, laughing at some of the obvious dumb moments of the characters dying. And then the action at the end was pretty badass. I actually enjoyed some of the xenomorph action. It's cool. But boy, it was pointless. This movie didn't need to exist. Seriously. I tell it, in my opinion.
Right.
It did not need to exist because it didn't follow up and didn't dedicate to the Prometheus stuff. They didn't really follow up on it. They just decided like, oh, well, this is what's happening now, kind of. 10 years passed, and they didn't really explain anything. Maybe they're probably going to explain it to the third one. And, well, wherever the sequel to this is going to be, because, well, you see what happened with the ending, right?
Yeah, because of course we're getting a sequel, because Hollywood,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, all right, so, continue, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so
no, you go ahead.
I'll jump into my thoughts, right? So, this to me is a tough show to really talk about, right? Because, like I say, there was stuff that I really liked about Prometheus, right? And I was glad that we were going to get a sequel. Like when I saw the first trailer for this Christmas morning, real bloody and R-rated and red band trailer stuff, I was like, yes, we're getting that now.
Yeah,
fine. And, for me, the first time when I saw that, I was like, all right, well, clearly this is for the people who felt like you said, that Prometheus is too heady, too boring, too dull, not going anywhere, right? So that's cool.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really appreciate this film here is that it did not go full alien, right? It did branch over from
It kind of did
Prometheus.
that though.
I'll get to that. It did branch over
Right.
some of the themes from Prometheus. The whole idea of creation of life and who create who and who's this god complex kind of thing. They explore
Yeah.
it a little bit more in terms of David's character and that character change that they do. I thought was pretty interesting. It caught me off guard, but how they pull it off was really well done, and that much has to do with the great performance, I would say, from Michael Fassbender. Once again, he knocks out the park here.
Yeah, he was pretty good in this. Yeah.
Playing this pretty much immoral character who could either be good or bad or trustworthy or untrustworthy. But if I could just be honest here, I felt like overall in the final product, I didn't get enough alienness in it. And that's just because of how the trailer was set up. Like,
right.
You see the trailers for these and you're expecting this full tilt, kind of bloody, no holds barred horror flick, right? Fine. Going back to the old film and of course Ridley Scott's name on it, fine, no problem. So I was surprised from the opening, which I still really appreciate, where we have still got that Prometheus stuff from the first film. Not just in the beautiful cinematography, but just also with the teams and what was set up as well. I was really surprised and I was glad and I was appreciative of that. But the alien stuff that we do get here, for me, I mean, while it was fun to look at in a dumb popcorn movie kind of way, it was still kind of generic. It was still basic. It was still dumb characters doing dumb shit because fuck you is an alien movie. That's why. And it's just like, it's funny, because, like, I don't know. Like, you would think in this far ahead in the franchise, right? You would think that characters now won't be the same idiots that were in the previous films. But hey, we're doing the same thing again. We're going into dark corners by ourselves. We're going into showers where this and they say we'll be right back or whatever. We're running in haphazard into places that we know we shouldn't go into because we don't know what the threat is. We're running in because we had to save somebody and then you get attacked. And it's all these things that you've seen before, not just in alien films, but in similar films, not just in sci-fi, but in horror. So it's all just cliche all over again.
Yeah, as I'll say, for me, the problem with this is, again, it had a lot of good in this, eh?
It does have good. I'll talk about the good.
The opening sequence where the guy got... here's the thing. It had a lot of good in this, but the problem is that the plot and the plotting and the structure of the plot's so goddamn dumb when you think about it. That's the problem. You couldn't take it to. It's like, again, I kind of want to compare it to Batman v Superman in that way, where you have a lot of good shit.
Itself too seriously.
No, it's not so much taking itself too seriously. It's that the justification for this, I'm seeing a cool thing on screen, right? But the reason for that cool thing is so goddamn stupid that I couldn't take that seriously. So, like, there's a really great, to me, one of the early sequences, the guy who got the infection in his ear.
Yeah, I'll talk about that infection in a bit, but continue.
I really like that sequence. It's a kick-ass sequence. The little alien comes out, and she was locked in the locker in the thing, and the alien, tiny little white alien moving about, and she can scratch up and love that sequence.
Yeah, that was excellent actually in terms of.
Yeah, but then when you think about the reason of why that happened, it's like, these characters kind of retarded though.
Yeah.
Like, why? Yeah, this don't make any sense, and they just had themselves exposed, and nothing making any sense. And like, why does they do this? And everybody does not making good decisions. And they're not as dumb as Prometheus, I'll admit. Not as dumb as Prometheus.
Right.
But still pretty dumb.
That much, yeah.
Still pretty dumb.
Yeah, but that thing with the infection, what I liked about that, and the funny thing is that when I watched over Prometheus, especially that intro, that one that I know baffled a lot of people when they first saw it, when I watched it again, I picked up on it a little bit, like what was going on. But then when I saw the actual infection, I was like, okay, now it makes sense. Because primarily it's like the same planet or a similar planet. I assume it's the same planet that the engineer was on in the beginning because of, the cinematography and just the outdoor stuff that you do see, right?
Right.
But then they introduce this whole new race of characters and, David's involvement with them, and I find that was rushed. I wanted more out of it because the way how that setup came about and ended, I'm not gonna spoil it, but all I'll just say is kind of like, well, how come they didn't turn into aliens? But then when I think about it again, okay, but still, why didn't they turn into aliens? You know what I mean?
Right.
That little thing wasn't developed properly, I find. The whole thing with David and his character arc, I thought was well done.
Right.
There were a few moments with it which kind of came off awkward. One scene in particular involving David and Walter. When I saw this cinema, there was a guy, like an old fella. He stood like a robot in front of me, and he was like, "What the fuck is this, boy?"
Yeah, of course.
And some people just giggle and laugh. I was like, okay, I'll try something different. I'll try something. But
I know they had to do. I know they had to do some creepy shit like that, so you could see it kind of coming.
But what would
again.
Right, but here was I'll say about that scene though. What I picked up from it when I was thinking about it, while it was running through my mind, I was thinking Blade Runner, when Rutger Hauer meets his maker, kisses him, that kind of Judas kiss, and it's like, I want more like father, that kind of, like, I get that. It's like, you kiss your father and then you kill him. I get that vibe now. Right. But the way how they pull that off in Covenant,
Right.
And just set up alone, it was just too creepy.
Right.
Yeah, some characters do some incredibly dumb shit, like Billy Crudup. Billy Crudup does one of the dumbest things ever in alien history, but like, why would you do that shit, Trent?
Yeah,
you're supposed to be smarter than that, though. Everybody's supposed to be smart, even right down to Jussie Smollett, who you may know as Jamal from Empire, which I actually enjoy. I actually watch that show unashamedly. Yeah.
Right.
But he had a great scene. That's all I'll say. But yeah, it's just these characters that you wish had some common sense. But I thought, like, acting wise, if I could just get into that a bit before we get back to you, I thought the acting for the most part was good. Not just Michael Fassbender, but Catherine Watterson, who plays the lead, I guess.
Yeah.
Danny McBride surprised me, because I thought
he was
going to
good
be
in
like
this,
cracking jokes, but he was like real serious and.
I like this character.
Yeah. Billy Crudup was fine until he do that shit in the end. I was like,
oh
dude,
God,
nah,
that pissed me off.
Nah, man.
I watched it and I was like, I just cracked it up.
That.
I was like, oh, they can't be serious with this.
In 2017, you can't be making an alien movie with that shit.
Can't be doing that, man.
No.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, and that guest
me,
appearance by James Franco was alright.
Yeah,
but then again, the thing is because I did not follow the viral marketing, so I didn't see those little clips that were out on YouTube, which I thought I should have, because that would have made me really care about the characters a lot more.
Right. I saw one of those clips. Yeah, I saw one of those clips.
Yeah. Yeah. But I heard those were really good in terms of establishing character, but I just wish that I did. Then maybe I would have cared a lot more about those characters. But
and I agree with you there.
Right. But yeah, you were saying?
Yeah. As I say, it's a shame that they had so much good in this, because it had so much bad in it too. And I was like, they mix up a bunch of stuff. The actual alien content stuff, like when it was actually taking on the xenomorph at the end, love it. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I love it. That was a great setup.
Again, it was pointless and kind of dumb, and it didn't make any sense. I have no idea what they're gonna do with
that tiny bit though. So in how they were kind of balancing the tones, it's always like, okay, this scene is Prometheus, then this scene is Alien, then this scene is Alien, then this scene is Alien.
Yeah.
So the way how it kind of the third act, I felt the tonally was just all over the place, because I was like, okay, the alien stuff done, all right, so we back to Prometheus then, and then we get some more alien stuff, and then it done, and then it's like, okay, so we gotta end like Alien. No, it kind of ends like Prometheus. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just that kind of that balancing out of finding work. In other words, some moments felt like it's a Prometheus movie, then other moments felt like a basic Alien movie. That's how I felt, especially in the third act. So yeah, I was underwhelmed by the third act, especially with the ending, which I could have seen a mile away, and it's just because of one specific cut at a particular scene kind of sold it for me. I didn't pick up at it at first, but the thing is that my friend who was so now with me, he was like, I have a feeling this is gonna happen, I was like, no, they're not really gonna do that, right? And then in the end, it's like, the problem with it, fuck, they actually do that.
The problem with it is that the foreshadowing was horrible. It was a bad edit, as I say. A better edit would make it work. And then they point to something that was in Prometheus. They're like, oh well, that's obvious foreshadow too, with the little bird thing now.
Yeah.
So in the water now. So I was like, all right, well, obvious, dope. Like they're gonna do this again. All right, no problem.
Right.
I don't know why that was there, because like what David was carrying that around the entire time, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but Okay,
as I
continue,
say,
sorry.
this didn't gel together. I'm gonna give my rating now. This just
Give it,
didn't gel together.
by all
It should
means.
have. Right, I'll still give this a movie town because I
Right,
enjoyed it. I
fair,
had
fair.
fun. And I enjoyed it, but it when you think about it from a lore building perspective, it's real goddamn dumb, and I'm gonna lose points over time in my head. More and more think about it, and if I watch it over again, I'll probably hate it more and it might drop. So far in my head, I'll average it off as I'll say a low movie town. Because it had a lot of good in it in terms of the action and again set design and production value, and a lot of the ship stuff in the beginning especially was great. Love that. But then the so much of the plot just didn't make any goddamn sense. It was so stupid. A lot of the mysteries and mystery thing didn't really resolve itself. Because it didn't really follow from. I hate from Prometheus, and I hated that. And they off panel another characters, and we know that. But they didn't really explain what exactly happened to her personally, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
leave it up
I
to
was
the
let
girl.
down by that, to be honest. I was really let down by that.
Right. So I didn't hate this, but I'm still on the fence about it. Whatever else. I still give it a low
Well, a
movie
movie
top.
tone is fair. Okay, so I will see this inclusive, right? If there's one point in the franchise where, the question is, where exactly we going here now? Why we still making these movies now? Should we just stop here, or should we just continue doing this because we still have people that love Alien and we still have people that will defend Prometheus? It's Alien Covenant.
Right.
This is the moment where it's like, all they just need to kind of wrap shit up now. And I'm not saying this because of age, because just imagine this thing started in 1979, right? And we have now reached 2017, and you still try to figure out which direction is gonna go, And I appreciate it. Like I said again, I appreciate the effort that Prometheus made. It wasn't executed perfectly, but I appreciate the effort, and I like how this film kinda bridges that gap pretty much between their two Alien territory, which, when you think about it, could kind of neatly set up, if done well, the first Alien, which I hope they will do with a
which
final
you don't need
film.
to do.
But
you don't need to fucking do that.
Exactly.
Who cares?
But right, that's the thing. At this moment here
whatever.
now, it's kind of like, but you're just adding more upon more upon more on a story which is just supposed to be the crew of the spaceship sent by a corporation to go to a planet and an alien. It's just adding more and more and more, and you don't need that. That's the thing.
All
and
that
it just
bullshit,
shows, like really from a technical perspective, it's excellent. It's well done. That just the production design and the visual effects, and seeing these xenomorphs again, worth seeing on big screen. But here it's like you could tell it's clearly running out of juice. It just needs. I don't even think it needs anything else. It just needs to kind of end. But because it's Hollywood and because it's Ridley Scott, you kind of want to end things off on a high note. So I don't know if you're gonna get a next one after this, but I hope, dear God, if we do, let it be the last one. Let this franchise just kind of end. Let me just move on. If you want to do a spin-off, fine, but let it be a little bit more competent. Don't do the AVP shit. Sorry, AVP Requiem shit. No. Please don't do that.
Right.
But just this Alien thing, it's getting old, it's getting tired, and it shows. I'm sorry. You can bring out your best talent. You can bring out your best cinematography. Because once again, cinematography on point. Best music and all. You can harken back to Jerry Goldsmith, which this score did, and I have to give props for that. But still, once again, it's the same old. And I was disappointed that I really wanted to do something a little bit different. And just off of what the trailers really gave me, like what I was hoping for, I was expecting more thrills, man, more scares. Unfortunately, I didn't get that.
Right.
You got moments where it kind of got bogged down, where it was trying to be all existential. And I mean, I get where it was coming from, but I imagine these moments just boring shit out of a lot of people. Like, some people actually, like, right now saying that, Alien Covenant was boring, But I can't blame them. But, with the way how the trailers were, like, you want to see the visceral horror, which, we got to an extent in the first movie. I mean, it wasn't overly bloody, and this one actually amps up the blood in ways I didn't expect.
It's pretty gory actually.
Yeah, shockingly gory at some point. But to me, still at this point in time, I mean, you tried it with Prometheus. At least try to give me something a little different. And they're just the same idiots land on a planet, answering some distress signal, and they come back on board, and one of them is infected, and somebody else is infected. You've seen this before. You know, so imagine like binging these movies now from Prometheus go up. You're gonna watch two versions of the same movie, one of which is the original Alien. Come on. But all that aside, though, I did not come out of it hating it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but once again, it just could have been way better than it could have been, in my opinion. So, for me, I would give this a very light 3.5 out of 5 stars. I still say it's worth checking out, especially if you liked Prometheus. You would appreciate the direction where it's going, and hopefully, like I say, with the upcoming movie, I have a feeling it'll be a next one, especially with how this one ends. That hopefully this will be the final one. I'm really hoping that it is, so that way we could see how it leads into the original film. But like I said, once again, kind of wanted more, man. I kind of wanted more Alien, you know. But I would say it's more 50% Prometheus, 50% Alien, as compared to the last film, which was 75% Prometheus and 25% Alien, in my opinion. But I kind of wanted more, man, you know. But still, like I say, it is what it is. If you care to see it, go see it. But if you didn't like Prometheus at all, if you just kind of give up, or you just kind of don't care about the Alien franchise anymore, you think the first two movies still hold up and everything after that is just, you know, don't make any sense, then skip it, or wait for it to come out on home media, or maybe a director's cut. Although between you and me, Ricardo, I doubt it, but who knows? It's Ridley Scott. Maybe we might get a director's cut. Maybe we'll be better than what we saw here. Who knows? We'll see.
See. All right. Yeah, that's it.
So that's pretty much about it. So Ricardo, man, where can we find you online, dude?
Passat RMEDY, that is at RMEDY on Twitter. And then you could just type in my name, Ricardo Medina, on Facebook, and you could find me there.
Alright, you could also find me on Twitter too. Just look for Legally Black MJP. MJP are in capital letters. You can also find me on Facebook. Just look for my name, Machibili, as well as a Legally Black official fan base, where you find a link to this podcast here, as well as the others that we've done before. Like I said before, I will include the written review that I did for Prometheus back when it came out in 2012, I believe it was, So, you know, check it out.
Yeah.
My views have changed slightly from it, but pretty much what I felt back then still holds up, you know. But and feel free to share your thoughts on the Alien franchise and, you know, where it's going now. You know, this this deep abyss that it doesn't seem to know. Like I said before, it's like they have the navigation, they know where they're going, but when they actually, you know, lift off, it's like they get lost again. And I feel that's where the franchise is. It lost right now. It's trying to figure out what it's trying to be. Like, it want to pander to the fans now, so that's why Covenant is the way it is. But you still want it to be like Prometheus, because Ridley Scott, you know. But still, I mean, if we had to get one more movie, just give me one more and just end it. Just end and move on. You know what I mean? Give a Gladiator 2 or Black Hawk Down 2, but oh gosh, man, not another Alien movie, please. You know what I mean? Just see it.
See. Cool.
Alright, so stuff to look forward to before we leave. Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Dead Man Tell No Tales. Sorry, Dead Man Tell No Tales. Yeah, right. So like we did here with the Alien franchise, we're gonna be recapping the Pirates franchise, because why not? You know, I still think the first one holds up. The second and third wasn't really blown away by them. I felt just personally that they were just way too convoluted for their own good. You know, sequelitis. And the fourth one I just generally forgot because I just didn't care for it. But I'll rewatch all those, so you know, we'll share our thoughts on that. I hope that you do the same thing, Ricardo. Well, I don't know if you'll watch all four, but maybe I would recommend you check out the fourth one.
Yeah, I saw them out. I watched it before. I watched the fourth one recently, actually. Well, sometime last week, just to recap what the hell this was about.
Right.
So that's about it. Well, yeah, those are really forgettable.
Other stuff to look forward to. There's Baywatch, which looks so
we can talk about Baywatch,
dumb.
I'll probably go see it.
Very dumb, but I still want to see it because Dwayne Johnson. That's all. And of course, Wonder Woman, which I still have not high expectations, but I really want this thing to be a success.
Right.
Not just commercially. You know, DC movies still make money, even though they you know, like the last two generally terrible. They still make money, but I want it to be a critical success. I mean, so it's an origin story. They can't mess up origin story, or can you?
Yeah, that would
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll find out.
You'll find out. All right, so that's pretty
Right,
much
that's it. I
about
think I can't think of anything else right now off the top of my head.
Yeah, neither can I. Neither can I. Sorry.
I just continue a bunch of TV shows I like. Leftovers going on, still kicking all of the ass for me. And Handmaid's Tale is excellent so far, in my opinion.
Right.
So we'll probably talk about this one day.
Yes. Finally, at the time of this recording, Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Season premiere.
Right, I almost forgot
Showtime.
about it.
Because
Right,
I actually sat through the 2 seasons of Twin Peaks from the early 90s, and that terrible movie Fire Walk With Me, which we'll talk about in the near future. I will actually wait for these episodes, and when the season is done, I'll just watch them out. Okay, it's David Lynch, so you have to focus on any and everything.
Right.
Personally, you can't watch these things like every week. You'll just lose out on things. So I had to binge it, and once I do, I hope that you make the effort, to do so too. We'll have a review for that. Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever this is. This was Machabili and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from another episode of Bears Beats and Melee. So take care. Until the next one. Take care, guys. Later. Peace.
Peace. Yeah.